Felicitations, my family of fledglings. And ghosts, it's so good to unsee you as well. My name is Damien Halme, Disruptor Professional. How's it going, guys? Welcome on in. We have another discourse night tonight. This is our typical Wednesday fare, Wednesday menu, Wednesday du jour. Hello and welcome. Thanks for allowing me to start late. I didn't have much of a choice because we are approaching graduation, or whatever it is that you call kindergarten and preschool, moving up to the next level. Our kiddos are moving up, and tomorrow and Friday are their last days of school. And that means parties, special events, all sorts of like fun things that in order to make fun for kids, adults need to work harder, right? There's no such thing as kids get more fun when adults don't do work. Adults work, kids get more fun. So I went out to go contribute to an ice cream social for the tiny, and her class and she will all indulge in making tasty ice cream sundae party sort of stuff. And because because we raised the children with absolutely no sugar and we live in the South, there is a little bit of an extra buy-in when it comes to buying dessert things for the little and the tiny that also that they can eat, basically. So we do everything that's not, refined sugar. Everything else is fine, but finding the right ingredients on the label in order to buy stuff, in order to make stuff happen at school, is a little extra tricky. So that's why I ended up being a little bit late for tonight's stream. Yeah. Ashton, hello and welcome. Also, Playtons, thanks for sharing on my Discord how absolutely amazing beast mode you are of a gamer. I super appreciate that. I'm new to this. How does this work? How does what work? How does what work? I have 6 windows up for you and Oz. Wow, because you're following like several streams, I presume. You're probably watching Oz on Twitch and on YouTube. And then for me, I don't know. Are you really watching all of my streams? I think that's more than 6 if you combine the two of us together. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know who wants my money anymore because I never answer calls without ID. Probably smart. Yeah, honestly, if you really don't let your money go in any direction, then this might be...
He's not a solid, and he's definitely not a gas either.
No,
he's a liquid. It can't be. Don't tell me. Damn it. It all makes sense now. His references to consumable beverage safety tips. His liquidity. The drink.
The drink has arrived, everybody. Hello, You're here so early. I appreciate that. I mean, you don't always have to be here early, but when you are, that's cool. Welcome. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Welcome. Hi, Kara. Welcome message check. No, I still haven't had a chance to implement your welcome message. It's going to have to be probably between now and next stream. Fridays are a content creator work day for me, where I'm able to go in, especially to my bots that handle all the automations and take care of all the things that I have set up on my to-do list. The last couple days, I've had no time. I really have done nothing infrastructure-wise, unfortunately. So we need to Yeah, probably Friday. I will implement that stuff. So on Saturday's stream, if you don't see your welcome message, you can harangue me for that. I feel like a lot of places have added a tip thing on digital card readers. I could chat forever about my opinion on tipping, but let's not go there. I am a huge proponent of talking about tipping. That's to say, I'm not a huge proponent on tipping, but I like to discuss it. Why do I like to discuss tipping? I feel like tipping is a social construct that is rude. It's oppressive. It creates a social anxiety in the consumer to try to create some sort of scenario in which they deem services acceptable to increase the base pay of a given employee so that that employee can receive pay that is commensurate to their activities. What's even worse is that many tipping scenarios are set up so that you create the tip before the employee does the work. Like if you're using a kiosk or a delivery service or anything that's like you set up all of the order and the pay before the service is delivered. When they ask you for a tip, you don't know jack shit about the person who is going to be doing the work, but they ask you for a tip, right? There's a problem there. Tipping is about what kind of services were rendered. If no services were rendered, you're just taking a stab. We ran into this problem when we moved to Georgia. We moved to Georgia, and in the move, we were allowed to allocate a tip to the movers before they actually helped unpack everything and put everything into our new house. When that happened, apparently the guy who was doing the unpacking was not part of the moving company. He was a third-party contract worker. He worked for a different moving company that was just local. The national moving company that we hired didn't have service in our area and contracted work to this third-party guy. This third-party guy didn't have enough bandwidth to do our move alone, even though his company decided he did. So he actually brought a couple of his friends over who are not employees. They're not movers. They're not on the clock. They came because he told them, I will share part of my tips with you. They're nobodies. And they all came and moved our stuff. And they broke a lot of things. They even, they went so far as to move, very tall furniture under ceiling fans and hit the ceiling fan with the furniture, which both damages the ceiling fan and the furniture. We reported that to the company, but we pre-tipped and said, can we rescind part of our tip because we didn't know, one, that you were going to outsource moving to a third-party company, and two, that third-party company's employee was going to outsource part of his work to non-employees. And they said that they could not rescind the tip. That's a fucking problem, right? So if you hear about Oz moving, don't go with them, is my point. I will de-sponsor them. Anyway, yeah. Hi, hello, hi. Weehaw. Yes, indeed. I'm glad you're here. Discourse, what are we doing here? We're discussing ways in which people try to take your money. How do people put pressure on you to remove your money from you? What do they do? Who does it the most? What's working? What's not? Yeah. Vets and doctors want a lot of money. Everything itemized. $80 for an Advil in ER for an animal? I feel like that's highway robbery. I do believe that the the fact that humans have a certain empathy for animals. We want to take them in. We want to raise them. We want to curate their experiences. We want to have pets, or shy of pets, just have animals in our homes so we can observe and enjoy their lives and give them a certain quality of life. I feel like everybody... Oh,
Another thing.
sure, Weehaw.
Palm right as the mail.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you. Triple self-care already. We're barely into the stream, but sure, I'll take care of that. I will. I feel like as soon as you adopt animals or children into your life, whether you've made them yourself or adopted them or rescued them or whatever, you're instantly ready to be scammed by so many people that want to take gobs of your money. Yeah. I have nothing tomorrow. I'm done. Well, good for you. Hell yeah. Don't drink the gender fluid. Books with sprayed edges. Want to break my bank. Sprayed edges? I'm not sure I know what that is. There's 4 birds on a fence. How many beaks do they have? I'm curious what that means. 4 birds would have 4 beaks, but if they're on a fence, does a fence have a beak? Is there another definition of the word beak that I don't understand? If they're sitting on a fence or standing on a fence, does that change their mouths somehow? Or is there a different meaning for beak? Bailey, please explain. Regarding tipping, actually, I think we've had this discussion before. Tipping has come up several times on the stream, if only because in the United States, tipping is broken, right? We have employees who do not receive proper life-supporting pay. We've done studies on restaurants. We've done like an A/B research. A/B research is you provide 2 different variants of an offering to your consumers, and then you check which one serves the best. When a restaurant serves you with menu items that are the cost of the menu items in a restaurant are such that they do not accommodate for tipping pay. Then at the end of the meal, you tip your server, whatever, 15 to 25%, some random crazy number somewhere in there, versus they raise the prices of the menu items and they refuse your tip. They say, if you try to tip, we will tell you, no, this is a fixed price menu. The servers are well taken care of. Do not tip them. What did we learn about consumers? We learned, unfortunately, that consumers hate the higher menu prices. They would rather tip the server an extra fund, an extra fee on top of their meal and spend the same amount of money than see the server is dedicated a certain amount of money. I think what it comes down to is control, right? If a person patronizes a restaurant, they're sitting, they're eating the food, they're a guest at that restaurant, they want to decide, do I tip the server because I liked them? Or did they render bad service, in which case maybe I will not tip them, or not tip them as much because I didn't like their service as much. If the menu is already elevated such that you do not have to tip the server, that also means that the server could do a bad job and you're forced to pay them through the elevated prices of the menu. That said, most people will still pay. Jay, excuses. That said, most people will still tip out of sympathy because your general server is making minimum wage in some states less than minimum wage, and people feel an obligation to match better pay for that server because their employer will not. That's rude, right? That's really bad. If the employer will not take care of the server and it's on you, and the server is not rendering you proper services, you still feel a moral obligation to step in and pay and help that server reach a living wage, because whether or not they do their job well, their employer will not help them out. So it's really on your shoulders, and a lot of people feel the obligation to do so. I feel that's deplorable. Yeah. I now have bacon inside me. How does that feel? Also, am I glitched out for you like I was on Oz's stream? I have no idea. What's the glitch? I like your hair these days. Thank you, Risa. I find that there are two camps as far as my hair goes. When I do short, traditional male hairstyles, buzzed on the side, just a little bit of length on the top, there's a demographic of people that really dig it. When I grow my hair out, I lose that demographic and gain a different demographic that's there for long-haired D. I can't win either way, but I can't lose either way. There's always somebody who's like, yes, I love your hair this way. So for now, the arc is ever longer hair until it reaches the goal I have, which is essentially Louis from Interview with the Vampire. We'll see how that looks. About the vet/doctor, just a rough estimate based on discussions I had with some people about how hospital bills are so high because they just can, right? They have you in a corner. It's really a matter of life and death, honestly, or a matter of suffering versus non-suffering. Do you want you or your animal or your loved one to suffer? Then pay the price if you don't. And they can set the price. So there's not much you can do about that. Hey, Dan, I'm going to pop out to game with the boys. Enjoy, Weehaw. Loving you. I love your face. Thanks for being here. Thanks for popping in. Evan, hi. We're discussing who is trying to take your money, who is successful at it, who is unsuccessful at it, who does it the most, who is the most up in your DMs saying, hey, give me a piece of your pie specifically. That's what we're discussing tonight. The decorated edges of the book, so it's just pretty. Oh, like art on the page edges, so that when the book is closed, there is art along the side. Is that my understanding is correct? Barnes & Noble even has a section online now called Judge a Book by Its Edges. That's cute. That's cute. Kevin, hi and welcome. I rearranged furniture and cuts. Oh, yeah. That sounds like an alpha interior designer. What's this channel about? Deep dives, deep discussions, hypers. Deep dives, deep discussions, critical thinking, some gaming, mostly optimization and analyzation of one's life, especially in places where you feel like you are blind. The places in which you're automatic, we try to make you more manual again. That's generally what I stand for. Yes. I usually tip 20%, but I would reduce it if I had bad service. That's interesting. The standard, the etiquette has been 15% for decades. And looking into modern research about tipping, it is still 15%. However, kiosks, online, punch in, you're using a stylus to touch a touchscreen or whatever, they will often skew those numbers so that 15% is not the standard anymore. It's not the middle ground. The middle ground will be 18 or 20%. And they'll incentivize you that if you really love them, you'll do higher than 18% or higher than 20%. When 15% is generally the norm for anything that's a tippable service, sometimes 10% based on how little interaction they have with you. Valets, movers, people that aren't directly serving you regularly throughout your experience, but only come through at the very end, generally get tipped less. 15 is still the standard across all the board, and then less for people that do less for you. And yet every computer system, I feel, lies and no longer sets 15 as middle ground. They set something much higher as middle ground. And up to and including, I feel like I've seen 25% more and more as if you feel like your service was stellar, please consider 1/4 of the cost of your services going to the employee above and beyond what you were already paying for the service itself, which is fucking insane to me. I can't believe how expensive that makes things. Even though it does help other employees, it helps other employees so that the service that you are a patron of, their employers can pocket more money. They do not have to compensate the employee because you are compensating the employee. It's absolutely a power grab on the part of these companies. Do you have any thoughts on the wage of cooks? Why doesn't anybody see how much servers get paid and the cooks and why doesn't anybody see how much servers get paid and the cooks in the back working 5 times harder and can't even afford a car? Part of that problem too is that food servers are generally people who are part of your community. They are aligned with the demographics of your area. And the cooks in the back are usually a disenfranchised minority who are working under constrained situations. So they can, the employers can generally afford to pay them less because those cooks are in trouble if they don't play by the rules. Maybe they're not legal through all documentation and citizenship rights. Maybe they need a job that is low skill but doesn't have an English requirement or a customer facing requirement, and cooking is a good way to sneak in there. I believe that once you see the demographics of cooks in general across at least the United States, you find that employers are very quick to take the most desperate employees and put pressure on them to encourage them to cohere, adopt a lower pay grade than what a cook ought to be earning in the US. And they turn a blind eye to those people so that if there's any illegalities to the employment of those people, they say, well, I'm doing you a personal favor. And as long as you comply to less pay, hard work, hard hours, you can make it in this country. It's deplorable, really. Yeah. Alamo Drafthouse Cinema by Me recently implemented an 18% service fee. Is this just a theater? Like movies? Said tips aren't expected, but they gave the servers better pay. Yeah, but also the company could decide to pay the servers better so that they got the better pay without you needing to contribute, right? Otherwise, you're paying for their wages, not the company. Oh, thanks for the donuts, MPG. Sympathy? Wait, what's going on here, Gorilla? Simp sniper monkey? Okay. Hi. Those pretty art books are such a trap. It's true. I mean, they're also very pretty. So you are paying for art. You're paying for excellence. I get that. But it's not necessarily required for a book. It's just at that point, how much do you fetishize the beauty of what you have in terms of the literature around you? Rob Max says, dinner tonight was lemon ricotta pasta. Oh, that sounds really good. Plus pancetta, garlic butter buns, and a glass of Pinot Gris. Dude, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing your dinner with me. I just had grocery store sushi tonight. Well done. Well done, Rob. It could be a book I already have, and then I'll pay it for it again for a pretty version. I got Sunrise on the Reaping when it came out. The new Hunger Games prequel with Hamish's Games. Oh. And they just announced a gorgeous sprayed edition, which probably means you want to shell out for that. Yeah. Timothy says, I always tip, but I do not hesitate to report bad service to management and people I know. That's not a bad way to go about it. So then you are making sure that somebody who, regardless of how hard or not they work, they are still taken care of. You're caring for people on a basic humanitarian level, but you're also not encouraging their bad work ethic, right? You tell their company, hey, this person is slacking. There's something wrong with what services they're providing. My tip is not necessarily an advocacy of what type of work they provide. I just feel like people deserve better pay. And then you go and say, this person needs some corrective action, right? I think that's very kind. That's probably the kindest way you could go about it. You are supplanting the money that the employers will not provide that employee, while at the same time holding them to task for not doing their job as well as they could be. Yeah. I was on a wait list for a few months to get onto the Fairy Loot subscription. What is that? You'd say. It's a book box with limited amount of subscribers allotted, and the books all have exclusive sprayed edges, interior, and cover art, and are often signed by the author. They are like $50 after shipping and tax and everything. Product is like $35 with some included goodies. My very first one is arriving this month, so I'm excited for the pretty book. Nice. The point of bringing that up besides sprayed edges is I was thinking about how it's a subscription box and they have a limited amount, and my thoughts were, who can pay for subscriptions to things like that in this economy? Obviously yourself. Yeah. I got the young adult box, but I'm still on the wait list for the adult romantasy. They have my money. I work extra for it. If it's something that brings you joy, then you're the person that can afford it in this economy. And we all make those choices, right? There are things that we decide we need as essentials for life. And then if we have any leeway above and beyond that, most of us do not save. Most of us do not build a retirement, a fund, an infrastructure, investments. Some of us do, and investing is becoming more mainstream. So it's not just for the rich. But that said, we are generally, as primates, prone to not saving well. There have been studies with other primates that the idea of saving or holding off or delaying gratification is not in our genetics. And humans, we have this problem too. That said, when we feel like we don't want to pleasure delay, we will find the thing with our extra funds that brings us the most joy. And sometimes living a life full of little joys along the way might be superior to saving for a retirement in which you're happy, taken care of, and all your funds are protected for the end part of your life. Do you want to wait to be happy to the very last act of your life? Some people say yes, some people say no. I think that's a personal choice. Jay says, hose. Wait, too late. I said it out loud. I'm sorry. Yeah. Out of sight, out of mind, playing huge there on the cook topic. That's true too. As long as you don't see the cooks in the kitchen, if you don't know what ethnicity they come from, if you don't know what quality of life they come from, if you don't see what car they drive to work, you don't really understand what their pay looks like. You feel that the company is probably doing their best work. The restaurant is probably doing right by their cook staff, right? That's what that's what customers think. It's usually not the case. The most restaurants in the US are using the most disenfranchised, most under pressure cook staff, back of house staff that they can find, because under pressure means they will take lower pay, bigger or worse hours, worse availability, because they're desperate. Desperation leads to higher vulnerability that you can exploit as an employer. And I feel like the vast majority of restaurants in the US enterprise on this. My brother's gay, you look like you can fix him. I have no idea what that means, Dom. If you mean that I don't look like that I'm appealing to gay men, you're wrong. I still tip even for bad service, but like maybe 10% if it's really bad. I feel like I do too. I feel a huge social pressure and stigma to tip, even when I feel like tipping has not been earned. You can do really, really poorly, and I don't want to do the insult tip. I don't want to do no tip. I feel like your employer maybe is not doing the right thing by you, and you still deserve money. But I also don't feel like I want to reward somebody like that. So am I going to tip that person 25%? No. Am I going to tip that person 0% or like 2 pennies or whatever, something rude? No, I feel like that's an insult to somebody that doesn't necessarily deserve it. Hello, S for life? What's S for life mean? You're only as good as your performance. If not, you'll be replaced. That's true too. Like, honestly, servers are pretty high turnover position. So even if you are tipping a server that's really bad, if they're bad consistently, their management probably isn't going to keep them around. They're probably not earning good money. They're probably getting poor tips all around. They might even be generating negative customer feedback, which can result in bad ratings or reviews online. And that's not good for anybody. The employers will probably get rid of that person. And there are so many people who could do service and who are willing to do service better than you that are just waiting to replace you. Yeah, 100%. Right, I do make choices. They usually involve books, Pokemon cards, and food. I do make sure I put my funds aside for such frivolities specifically. If it makes you happy, and it makes you happy in the now, so that you are enjoying life and living a richer life now, that I think is a choice that some people don't understand and other people understand fully. Some people think you always have to build for a future, but your future also isn't guaranteed. Some people living in the now might live too much in the now and leave themselves bereft of a good infrastructure. If you can do both, I think that's the golden mean, right? Who wants my money? We'll get to that in a bit. I'm just catching up with chat, yo. What's depression? Oh, man, we could talk about that. I'm writing a whole video essay right now about certain functionality of depression, as a matter of fact. Wages go down for American citizens when we have open borders. I don't understand how that could be possible. Wages go to people with, when we take in immigrants who are not legally bound to the US, they will generally always take less pay. And then Americans end up getting jobs that are above those levels. So your average American is not going to be picking strawberries, is not going to be cooking in a kitchen, is not going to be mining in a coal mine, right? And the reason why we want this is because our country has moved up toward closer to a management country. Are all of us in management? Hell no. Obviously not. But are all of us doing factorial, labor, menial, sweat equity jobs? No, less and less of us are every generation in this country. And that's the goal. We want our country to advance such that our grandparents had to sweat all of their lives so that our parents could work in a factory, so that we could work in an office, right? That's the progression that we want for our nation. When we take on people in our nation who work those really, really shitty jobs, we're doing so because our standard citizen, we don't want that fate for them necessarily. Same idea as the military, right? Who fights our wars? Who goes into the military? Trust fund kids? Senators' children? Fucking never. We only take the low income people and we say, don't worry, we'll pay you fat with taxpayer money. Your family will have a transformative wealth situation because you've joined the military. Maybe less so today than it was 30 or 40 years ago. But we always take the most disenfranchised people of our citizens or immigrants, and we make them do the hardest jobs so that we can advance our civilization. Is that the right or ethical thing to do? That's pretty spicy, right? But that's been the American dream for a long time, is pushing ourselves up and up the ladder and letting other people backfill the bottom parts of our economy. That's what it seems like to me. Where are we? Where did I lose track of chat? Man, you guys are really chatting tonight. Thank you for that. Want to hear an awkward story about a server? Wait. That I had only bad experiences with? Oh, multiple. Sure. I enjoy life now. I might be dead tomorrow. True. If you save so that the golden years you lives a fruitful life, that might not ever happen, right? An accident could happen anytime between now and then. And if you have a bad health situation in the US, we don't have the best healthcare, right? We don't have the strongest healthcare on the planet. So that might screw you over as well. Maybe live for the now. I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying that's a choice everybody has to make. One of our retirement accounts at my work was closing out. We had to either withdraw or put into the new account they made. I did some beep-boop calculations and pulled out what was there and put it into a money market account with the idea it's better to have it for an emergency with access now, because I might not make it to retirement to even use it. Chances are also, if you are financially savvy, you managing your own funds is probably going to be preferential to paying a management fee to like a 401k curator. They do some soft administrative work on your funds, but if you're already savvy in that world, there's a good chance that your outcomes will be better or stronger than theirs, or at least more aligned with the interests that you have, whether you want to take on more risk or be more solid. You can sort of choose your own mix and match strategy in ways that you're far more constrained if you stick with a retirement fund company and their management sort of thing. Joshua, hi and welcome. Progressive era. Do you think we're in progressive era with a Trump administration and a majority Republican, majority conservative and GOP US? I don't know that we're in progressive era in any way. Democrats are hilarious. Why are Democrats funny to you? I work at a WIOA school, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, where we prepare students for jobs and life after high school. Interesting. One WIOA requirement is financial literacy. I wish that was true for just about everybody. I feel like we dropped the ball there. I just finished the modern language edition of The Richest Man in Babylon, and I think I'm going to incorporate one different story for each semester to do. They're basically ancient Babylonian tales that offer true to now lessons about managing money. For me, that was a lot I already know / do. But I think the teen, and we got cut off there. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like financial literacy is something that people do not learn in school, and I don't understand why. It's really a core functionality of who we are as people, and the fact that we don't better explain the idea of taxation and voting for different infrastructure bills and whatever, and understanding the ways that we can invest our funds, what we do with our extra money, how we push towards careers that will fund our lifestyle versus passion projects. You know, if you really want to be an underwater basket weaver, is that ultimately going to give you the lifestyle that you want? I don't feel like high schools really prepare kids for that sort of conceptual thinking. I'm already talking to my kids about that. You know, there are jobs that you might love to do, but if you love to do the job and it doesn't pay, you have to be committed to living a life in that pay grade. Where do you live? What do you buy? What kind of lifestyle do you have if your pay is constrained because you will be capped out at 40K, 50K versus if you take a really high paying job? What are the constraints there? There might be social constraints. There might be mental and physical constraints, depending on how much sweat equity you do, how much stress you have on your job, how much responsibility or legal obligation you have to your job. You know, lawyers and doctors make mad bank, and they're also among the most stressed out employees there are. So their home life suffers as a result. But then you have the quality of life monetarily. So, you know, that those choices need to be made, and there are many there's a spectrum, you know, between all of that. Teens in my class will definitely benefit from the central ideas of those stories. I like that. You're a coward of the country? What on earth does that even mean? The awkward Olive Garden server story. One day, me, Stuart, and some people you know go to Olive Garden for some dessert. First and foremost, we tell the server we are ready to order. We'll call her Q. And she says, well, I'm not. Okay. So she does a drink order, then comes back for our food order. We just wanted some desserts. So we tell her what we want. She's like, you could have just ordered that on the kiosk. So she beep boops them into the kiosk. Okay. So she orders them for you using the tablet, even though you could have used the tablet. And even though you could have used the tablet, they still pay her to be there to take your order, which I always found is kind of an interesting scenario in places like, what are the places that do that? Doesn't Chili's do that? Red Robin, Olive Garden. There's like a sect or a grouping of restaurants that say, we're going to pay a server to stand there and physically take your order, or you can also put it into the tablet here. We're going to give you so many options. And I don't really understand why they have the concurrent systems together. It costs more to do both and give people the choice. And I don't understand whether that choice is beneficial or not. Do people really feel like having that choice matters so much? That part's weird to me. Anyway. Is this satire? I don't know what I'm saying that sounds satirical to you. You're welcome to bring it up. The awkward Olive Garden server story part 2. We had large goodbye party for one of Stu's coworkers, and she was one of the servers. Oh, this bad server was one of the servers? Similar awkward experience as you can imagine. Interesting. Let me take a quick bio break because I drank a lot of hydrating fluids just before stream. And we're about an hour in, and I should probably take a break. I'll be right back, and then we'll catch up with chat. Continue to share your story, please. You still can't see me. I can take him down non-lethal. What were you gonna call me? Excuse me? The what? I think he was gonna say ass maggot. That's uncalled for. In my Christian cyberpunk server?
Yeah. Like with my dogs, I address them the exact same way I addressed any other thing that I'm talking to. The lamp, the person standing next to the lamp, the person who the lamp was made out of.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
Disregard that for legal reasons.
Whenever I see these guys, I'm gonna try to take as much PP as I can. No, I will not stop saying it that way. I guess we can make him pumped.
There's no reason to do this. But ugh, I can't even quit this cutscene too. Is he turning red? I feel much stronger now. Looks like his skin got redder. Like he hulked out a bit just now. Maybe not. Maybe he's always been that red. Use the pull chain. Wow. What a beautiful sound. Can we open the toilet lid? Can we use the toilet? Hello? Alright, don't look. That doesn't seem to work. Oh, not use toilet lid. Use toilet. I'd like a little more privacy for that. Wait, can you talk to an animate object?
Have you ever had, wait, why is that? Okay, that's gone. Oh, somebody's in my chat. Okay, hi, I see you there. I see a lot of politicization happening tonight. I don't know what it was about my stream title. I didn't do any specific tags or anything like that. The only thing I can think of is that we're talking about people who worked back of house in restaurants and their legal or illegal status as far as being a US citizen. That's the one thing I'm thinking that could be politicized here. For the record, for what sort of content creator I am and why you're here and why you might be listening to this and what sort of ideas you might have of me. I disagree with the left's position that we should continue to have people come into the country without going through legal processes and taking our low-end jobs. I also disagree with the idea that we should close the border and force Americans to take those low-end jobs. I don't know what the right answer is, but I think that the left and the right both have it wrong. I'm not necessarily a centrist. I'm not necessarily for either side, but I do believe that we exploit people to take on our lowest level of labor. And I also feel like if we forced American citizens to take that lowest level of labor, that we're fucking up there too, because we've already advanced as a culture and we've outsourced a lot of that work to other people. It's not right to exploit other people. It's not right to force our people to do that either. If somebody were really to push me on the stance, should we take on more illegal immigrants? Or should we force Americans to work sweat equity in mines and farms and restaurants? I would say I would love to see automation take over, honestly. I would rather disenfranchise everybody. Disenfranchise anybody who's trying to get into our country illegally to exploit our loopholes and take on so many of the jobs that many American employers, people who are cutting the paychecks, are willing to, pay under the table and exploit these people. Many farms, many restaurants, many places are very willing to exploit these people. We don't have a border crisis unless we have exploiting employers, and we don't have any regulation on these people. We do, but we don't pay enough to enforce it, right? So the only reason why people come into this country and take the shit jobs is because we have plenty of Americans who are willing to cut them paychecks. If we cut that entire system out, we don't want that for our kids. If you procreate, if you're a procreating sort of person and you decide you want to start a family in this country and you think, what do I want my kids to do? You don't want your kids to work in a coal mine. You don't want your kids to pick strawberries every day for 12 hours a day. You don't want these things for your children. As an American citizen, these types of jobs are not what you want. When we do a trade war with other nations so that we can be the producer here, so that we can do silicate mining, so that we can do oil refinery, so that we can do all this sort of work, you don't imagine that that's your family doing that shit. Because if you had children, or if you want to have children, it's not your children you want there. You want somebody else's children there. So neither of these solutions are good, right? The left has it wrong, trying to bring humanitarian ideology by exploiting people, using other countries' work as our menial labor. And the right has it wrong by creating a tariff war and trying to bring those services back into American jobs. We don't want Americans to work those jobs, and we shouldn't want other people to work those jobs. We should really be striving for replacing those people with AI in some sort of fashion, and doing this on highest priority list. The fact that ChatGPT can write, to generate images, replace ghostwriters and artists and all this sort of thing, but we can't automate agriculture or oil or coal as well as we can these higher sort of white collar creative functions, means we're using AI in the wrong location. I would rather see us automate out the menial labor first so that global citizenry can advance toward something different. That's not positive, not a positive sense for the left or the right. I understand that, and that's my unpopular opinion. I would rather see people get unemployed because we're using AI to kick millions of menial labor jobs out, and then let's figure out what to do with those unemployed people. But I don't want to see people do menial labor, not illegal immigrants, not local citizens. Yeah. Okay, where did I leave off? Teens in my class would. Oh, I think I read that. Yes. Robots will probably have taken over all restaurant positions within the next 20 years. I hope so. I honestly hope so. I've seen automated food service on sort of like a quick kiosk sort of thing, like hot dogs and that sort of thing. I've seen that work, and it seems to be good. It's generally going to be more beneficial for us to rely on machines to do that kind of work, as long as the food product at the end is serviceable. That takes significant strain from, people doing that job, and people hate doing that kind of labor, right? Who loves making hot dogs for people all day? Probably literally like 5 people on the whole planet. Daniel, hi and welcome. Awkward Olive Garden OG story part 3. Then forward, I asked who my server was. I didn't want to say anyone's name as long as I didn't hear Q. We're good. One day I didn't ask, literally the one time, and you got her. I was like, maybe it won't be so bad. Nope, I'm wrong. Not only is she rude and slow, but I'm generally patient, but I can hear her in the back telling a story to a friend and throwing the F word left and right. And there's a family with a 5-year-old girl. They can hear the whole conversation. I'm just like, that's so unprofessional. How is this lady still here? I'd immediately go to management. Honestly, 100%. Immediately go to management for that. The awkward part said there's a new hostess. Most of them know me and I them, and ask who's my server. I say it doesn't matter. So that's obviously it matters, or you wouldn't ask it, right? So I mentioned some things and asked. She asked who, so I decided to just throw out Q's name for the first time ever. The awkward part, after my meal, the hostess comes up to me and says, hey, I asked some people about Q, and I'm over here like, oh my God, that's so awkward. Why would you do that? And then what I was not expecting, she died about a year ago. Oh my. Yeah, that's pretty awkward. Obama tongue kissed me under Mount Rushmore. Atomic, I have no idea what that just looks like word vomit, my dude. So this has been a thing for about 3 years, me asking who the server is, but dang, she wasn't old or anything crazy, but it makes me think about what kind of life did she have? Maybe she was on drugs or something. That's why she was that way she was on the job. You never know somebody's personal life, right? So if somebody's being a real jerk or harsh or curt or whatever it happens to be, I tend to believe this way, actually, personally. I think or wonder what is wrong with that person's life. Are they suffering? Do they have a chronic illness? Do they have a mental illness? What is happening to that person? And sometimes if you take the opportunity to ask, even though it might seem like you're being very precocious to do so, if you come up to a bad employee and say, I don't like the way you are working your job. Is there something wrong in your personal life? That might sound really, I don't know the word, really pushy on your part, right? But you would be surprised how many people are just waiting to be asked. How many people are just looking for that listening ear somebody to actually hear their story. I would say more often than not, when somebody is really cruel to you, it's because something is happening to them. We're not natively cruel to everyone around us unless we're really suffering in some way. Twitch, I'll see some of you on the other side of ads. Yeah. Deport them all. What would you do with the job openings, Dirty Bird? Just curious. Makes you consider the whole thing before you judge things because you never really know. Despite that, I will never get over the whole I'm not to me being ready to order my food. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Thank you for the ban. Appreciate your face. Disrupt military recruitment efforts. What do you mean by that, Owen? Recruitment efforts are already pretty disrupted. What would you do? Manufacturing ammunition at low is surprisingly easy. Home is surprisingly easy and inexpensive. Why would you want ammunition at home? Hi, Tra. I am welcome. Anime guy, hello. Sorry, I'm like slow on catching up with chat, but I'm getting there. I promise I'm getting there. Tavion, am I saying your name right? Reminder, you can donate a kidney and become a hero, yet donating 5 makes you a felon. This world is really crumbling. You're my type of degenerate. Thanks for finding my channel. What the Sigma? Hi. I broken? Wait, what happened? Hi, Jewel. We have a restaurant near us called Tom's Burgers, and they have a robot bring the food out to the tables. I've seen that. We have a couple places near us that have that sort of like robot server, right? It's kind of creepy. What do you think? Why do you think that's creepy? The people place the food on the trays and place the tray on the robot rack, and it comes over and it has a screen with a cat face and says, meow, here's your food on row 4. All right, that's kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say creepy, but it's kind of lame, right? Oh, Troa, your intro broke again. I hate that. I did nothing. I did nothing when it broke. I did nothing when it came back and was fixed. And I did nothing when it broke again. This makes me have a real sad. And I know already that if I tried the Troa command that I gave myself in case this were to break, that it also doesn't work because I already tried that before. Dumb. Stupid streamer bot. Yeah, I don't... The whole meowing server robot's a little bit weird. But do we need humans to bring food to a table? Honestly, no. We've already solved for that. Although I would still argue that's very low-hanging fruit. That's not adequate. We should be using AI to solve the largest, most oppressive jobs, the ones that we hire the most people and force them to do really brutal work. We should be displacing those people, not displacing food servers just yet. Because food service is like, yes, it's hard, it's grueling, it's annoying, and there's a certain like fun seeing a robot bring food out to people. But we should really be working on picking fruit and slaughterhouses and mines before we deal with like food service at a restaurant, right? I think. Some savior complex right there. You ain't no therapist. Okay. I mean, don't you want to help people or do you not have empathy? I'm not saying that I'm a therapist, but if we're trying to maximize benefit for all humankind, do you not want to do that? What's your alternative to reducing suffering? What blows my mind is that it would be faster for the person who set and programmed the robot just to bring the food out. But then you'd have to pay that person to be doing that instead of maybe doing something else. So the real answer is, if you've got a robot that's doing the service of food to the table, is that freeing up employees to do other better work, like preparing more to-go orders so that your Uber Eats and DoorDashers are more hooked up and they get more revenue out of that? If it means that your food servers are chilling and hanging out on their phones while the robot does all the work, you're not gaining any money, right? You're paying employees to do jack shit. In which case the robot, the AI, is an extra expense. And then it's just there for what, like brand building to say, come to our restaurant, we have robot service. But that doesn't help anything. I mean, I guess it makes your workers work less hard so that they're happier. But I don't know that that's necessarily worth the extra investment, especially on the restaurant level where profit margins are so low as it happens to be. Deadpool, hi and welcome. Rush, good to see. Oh, good. Rush's intro at least works. Lurking because bad internet due to rain. Does rain affect people's internet? It affects ours, but usually because there's thunderstorms accompanied with the rain. I'm just curious if anybody else experiences bad internet when it rains. I haven't experienced that myself. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. If I ever go to jail, best believe I'm being somebody's... Cash, I love that you're here and that that's what you shared tonight. Hi, Daniel Wybot. Hi and welcome. Marvel Rival. Yeah, I could probably be down. Once we discuss this topic pretty thoroughly, yeah, I'd say yes. Hello, I'm ready to propose a collaboration. Oh, wait, are you like a bot? Talented streamers reach a wider audience. I reach a wide audience. Thanks, Pi. How is your audience, Mr. Kickbot? Also, I love that Kick does this. Literally every Kickbot's username and Discord name are not related in any way. I could not scream scam faster than my Kick name and my Discord name have no correlation whatsoever. Why this happens on Kick exclusively, I don't know, but it happens. Hi, Fish Lover. Wait, Fish Lover or Fish Lover? Can you ever play... Is that a game? Oz was starting soon? No, not you. Pi Shorty is the bot. Yeah. No, YouTube very rarely has bots, if ever. Stuart, if you and Oz and everybody else, all the usual suspects, are going to do some Marvel Rivals, I will join you guys. I will. Just let me know when you are actually joining in game, and then I'm absolutely down to join. It's Fish, your Fish Lover. Well, it turns out you didn't know this before you joined the stream, but I'm a pescatarian. I'm a lover of fish as well. I think that seafood is the way to better health, in that we consume too many land animals. And there's a number of reasons why, if you reduce land animal consumption and increase maritime animal consumption, that your health generally improves. It's basically down to like a amino acid sort of level, right? Your prostaglandin or omega basis. I'm willing to be proven wrong on this if there are studies that show that like beef and pork are actually beneficial to fish. But so far, literally everything I've seen, especially studies revolving Japanese and Mediterranean diets, which are high in seafood, and their longevity and their health outcomes, it just seems like terrain animals that live on ground, on solid ground, are just inferior on a health basis. Prove me wrong. I'm willing to be proven wrong. I don't have babies when it comes to my own ideologies. If you can find good evidence that contradicts me, I will shift stance 100%. On Roblox? Oh, gotcha. Oz is going to brush her teeth first. Oz is going to brush her teeth to play Marvel Rivals. Is that a thing? I'm just curious as to the reasoning behind that. Be sure to share with us who wants your money. Yes. I have this thing. Did I already? I haven't pulled this up yet, have I? This. Wait. This. Yeah. This guy. So I read an article. Wait, it's kind of small. I wrote an article specifically to talk about ways in which I've been pushed to give my money up. Happens to be, I'm a miser. I'm really stingy with my money. And I think that because I have procreated in this world, right? I've created tiny crotch goblins, that when I have excess money, that is their money. That is money that affects their outcome and trajectory and navigation in their lives. So if I decide that some of that money goes to something else, somebody pandering or asking or begging or encouraging a call to action with that money, I don't just provide that money to that creator or organization or charity. I take that money from my own children to do that. With that mentality, it's tricky to take my money away from me and a clear conscience, right? My money is my family's lineage, my heritage. I was given a certain amount of inheritance, and that allows me to do a certain amount of, life trajectory with that money, what I can. And I need to think in that same terms for my children. And then once they're set for an ever increasing sphere outside of my own family. But if I don't put my children first, what am I doing? What am I teaching them, right? I hate ad creep. I try to reduce / avoid cookies as much as possible, but I know I really needed those Last of Us Firefly earrings from Rocklove. Gotcha. Gamer boys, hi and welcome. What game are you talking about that's called Fish or Fish? I know you're speaking on Roblox, but what's Fish? I like how we already talked about a lot of this. Oh, 100%. For people who want to borrow, I don't let people borrow, but I may offer to help friends out of the goodness of my heart. It has to be without them asking, though, my own initiation and instigation. I think that's probably the safest thing that you can do is you decide, you determine what's going to make you feel more fulfilled with your money. If somebody else steps in, you can't prove to yourself that their manipulation, their charisma, their decisions about your money are not influencing you, right? So as soon as somebody else poisons the well, there's no guarantee that you're making this decision on your own. You could be manipulated and not know it. Many people are. Absolutely. For begging, I will actually buy food. So people who have signs, I'll ask what they want at the nearest restaurant and buy them something. Very positive idea. Yeah. Carrying either kits that you can provide to people that have, toothbrush, deodorant, some non-perishable foods, that kind of thing. If you can provide somebody who is begging for a handout, stuff that helps them along their journey, I think that makes so much more sense than giving them money, which usually gets spent on vice. And if you are really antagonistic, supporting other people's vices, you feel like supporting vices is a moral detriment, then providing them limitations on what you provide, that to me makes the most sense. You can still provide charity, you can still help fellow men, you can still show compassion and empathy towards humankind, but you're constraining it so that it can't be misused or exploited, right? Poly AI, how's it going? Astrobunbot does what she do. That's just who she is. She can't talk on her own. She's just responsive. Yeah, she's absolutely a 100% a bot. My instigation, for example, a friend asked me for the money, a few thousand, wow, to help her move out of the apartment she was in because she didn't like her neighbors. Not really a great reason, first of all, to ask for thousands of dollars just because you don't like the neighbors. And yet, she goes to Vegas every month. Oh, that's tone deaf, right? Somebody who's willing to take big risks on her own money then asks you for money to solve a problem when she won't use her own money to solve that problem. That's a big problem. It's very tone deaf. And yet she goes to Vegas. Oh, wait. Shops for fun. Ugh. And goes to fair events. Save your money, honey. You can get yourself out with a bit of temporary personal sacrifice. I don't even think that's sacrifice. Those things are addictions. Those things are proclivities that do not need to exist. If you really cared about your neighbors more than you cared about your gambling, you'd put the money into the neighbors or fixing the neighbors than you would, more so than you would about the gambling. Now, do all of us have working pickers? No. But should you step in and use your money to try to fix her picker? Also, no. That's not you. That's not on you. I've seen a lot of people beg for money who really need it as much as they make it seem, right, there's no way to tell, right? That goes for the homeless guy that you have no idea what car he might have hiding around the corner that he could drive to his nice house, you know, and he's scammed so many people out of money because he looks a certain way. He looks homeless, but he's actually just earning real good cash because of the way he looks. All the way up to and including high-end streamers who what's the word I'm looking for? Who put on performative shows, right? When you talk about some of the highest end stream, I've just been on a kick looking at other streamers and sort of understanding some of the big wigs out there. There's a significant amount of performative work being done. People putting on live theater shows with their spouses, with other boyfriends, girlfriends, other streamers. They create drama, they create tension. They're putting on basically dinner theater, but they make it look real and they talk about it like it's real. And until you see any evidence of the case, any evidence of the fact that this is real life, there's no reason that it should be. They're making money off of your viewership. And when they have crazy life events happening to them, you have to question, are they doing this because it makes you watch? Are they doing this because it makes you engage with them? Has anybody followed the recent Amaranth and her husband drama happening between the two of them? The armed robbery, the arguments on stream, their, you know, willingness to do everything in frame of the camera and within earshot of the microphones. I'm not saying it is fake. I don't have proof of that. But I'm saying it's awfully convenient that the most dramatic parts of their lives these last few months have been very stream perfect. The audio, the visual, everything.
Casey Braid.
Hi, everybody, and welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to group people so I can finally not feel uncomfortable.
Oh, hi.
Oh, you're
being
it's
alone
on
in
here,
the
so you're
woods.
going to be more uncomfortable.
Oh no. Oh no, under the door people. Oh no. This is not good.
I like your little bug man. He's cute.
Yes, the vessel. I picked it off of Google Images. Do you like it?
I like
I do.
turtles, but I also like that. Yeah.
I also like the vessel.
I don't know who I'm talking to because the screen name is truncated.
You're truncated.
Your mom's truncated.
That's true.
This is one of our newer fledglings. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I'm new here, guys.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Oh, hello, Crims.
Hi.
I don't know what brought you here, but it was probably a mistake. I'm kidding.
That's
Oh,
right.
dare you.
All of the
It is in
mistakes.
fact true.
If anybody is vibing off of my stream, you call that a mistake.
I mean, I call people who are in my stream. I tell them that they're making a mistake.
No, that's fair.
I know people who are in my
You can say you
stream
call us
nothing
mistakes.
because I don't get any streamer. I don't get any viewers.
Not yet. You can get there.
That just
I only
makes me
streamed
sad.
once and I had 0 viewers the entire time, so I just stopped streaming. And then I deleted the VOD.
Well, I mean, it was only your first one. Did
Yeah, that
you
is
promote
fair.
yourself in other people's discords?
No, I don't think advertising is allowed in other servers.
Advertising is allowed in my server. And in D's server.
Yeah.
Where is an invite to your server?
Don't give up.
I'm
Is
just
what
kidding,
we're
I'm just
saying.
kidding. Yeah, I know. I keep like I'm like really infrequent in my videos.
That's fine.
And they're mostly just achievements that I've done, like beating Aki from Geometry Dash,
That's still okay.
which is an extreme demon.
I did in the stream chat logs. I posted something so you could see it.
I'm gonna pop out for just a minute to catch up with chat. BB.
Okay.
What's up, man? I came across your channel and I love the content you're streaming. It's amazing. Are we doing another Kickbot thing? I read like partway through and I'm already feeling like I'm reading a Kickbot. That's fine, I suppose. She gambles that much. She goes to a friend from what I know. A lot of beggars with animals, as Stu mentioned, is kind of like a ruse, I imagine you were trying to say. I have a bigger heart for animals than people, so that's definitely a tactic. Yeah, that definitely works. They should have an animal if they shouldn't have an animal if they can't take care of it. I know people who have like dozens of animals, or at least I shouldn't say dozens, a dozen animals, and they can't take care of all of them. Why do low income people with significant financial struggles to take care of the humans in their household also take on a lot of animals? I don't know. It seems to be that when I hear 8+ animals, I think you probably don't have the financial means to do so. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be, at least just from the people that I've met or talked to on stream, people who open their homes to a lot of animals are sacrificing the people's well-being, the animals' well-being, and are doing a disservice to everything under their roof, every living creature under their roof. Yeah. Still, a long trip every month is unnecessary cost. She should avoid. Yeah, long trips are a bad idea. What should I read tonight? Fairy Smut? Oh, I'm already down for Fairy Smut. African Percy Jackson, Asian Empress Prophecy, Muslim Poetry, or Sign Eating Space Microbe. My vote is Fairy Smut. Those are our reading in progress. Yeah, I'm all for Smut. I would have so many more animals if it weren't for apartment rolls. Yes, but you also have the means. And I also feel like you have the heart to make sure that everybody is well taken care of. And I appreciate that. I'm going to pop back into Discord and join the conversation happening there now that we've connected back up with chat.
The entirety of the front page of the achievements that I have are less than 10%. Actually, less than 4%.
Alright.
Which is kind of insane. One of them is a DLC thing, which I get is why it's so low. Overrate. Let me just stream. As you can see, all of these. Yeah, this one's 1.1% of the things.
Nice.
Fairy Smut's definitely the best one. Oh, good.
Celeste is the best game of all time.
Wait, did you say Celeste is?
Yeah, that's my favorite game, bro. I have
I'm
390
playing Neva.
hours. We're not gonna pay attention to the fact that I have 700 hours in Geometry Dash.
Isn't Neva the same creators?
Bro, who is DMing me at this hour? Why is my...
Are you ready for some rounds, by the way?
So
are we all here?
I am here, but I'm going to eat real quick. Go ahead and do one round without me.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know. I'm ready
What's
here.
going on? I was not listening for like a second.
Several of us are hopping into a Marvel Rivals match.
Oh, okay. Is that coral and then cloth and a bunch of other stuff? Oh, we got Nail Sage Sly, we got Ori, and the Blind Owl.
The Blind Forest?
Or something.
Mm.
I loved Ori.
The Nail Sage.
It's hard as fuck.
Ori and this Ori the Nail Sage Sly.
I platinumed Ori 1 and 2.
Nice.
And I don't regret it.
Wow, the kickbots are really out in full force tonight. Hi, all you beautiful
I don't even know
kickbots.
why
I wish
you
you
have
could hear my
kick.
voice. You don't know why I have a kick?
Yeah, kick is kind of stupid anyway.
I'll tell you why I have a kick.
I've heard rumors.
It costs me nothing to add it.
That makes sense.
I have
More advertisement, man.
a little more than 3 dozen people that decided that I'm actually worthwhile watching on Kick. Some of those are probably duplicates from other online platforms, and it just happens to be that they also made a Kick just to support me. And
yeah, I'm one of those people.
Wait, can they see me? Can they hear me on stream?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no, my OBS voice is so terrible, man.
Nobody's going to be judging you on my stream anyways.
I will.
Oh, how dare you?
Shut up.
Hodor.
Don't believe Stuart.
Hodor.
Basically,
Yeah, don't
anything
believe
Stuart says is a troll.
Yes, I will say
Shy.
what I normally say
Probably
to people who
true.
meet me. If I say, act, or do anything you actually do not like, let me know and
Oh.
I'll stop.
Hello, Shy.
Okay.
Thank you for the raid. Hello,
How much?
everybody.
Raiders.
Can your people on your stream also hear me?
Yes, they can.
Yes, you're
How
live
many
on.
people are on your stream?
200.
Oh no.
No, there's not that many people.
That's like 200 more than my highest viewer count.
Between Oz and myself, you're probably live on what, 7 different channels?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
We can
Ain't
all
the
hear
game and
you.
dance with fire and ice.
Wow, we just backdoored them hard.
Yep. And we kept them busy on both sides, so we actually did like a pincer attack there. Well done.
Come back here. Come back here. No.
Ooh.
Haha.
Play Marvel Rivals.
Aw, in ad. I'm so sorry.
You know, saying sorry doesn't help when they're in ad.
Yeah.
I know.
You're apologizing to nobody right now.
She's apologizing to the void. Let her be.
Okay. I apologize to the darkness.
The darkness.
We're falling to the birthplace. Don't worry. The void stares back.
Nice.
Do you get the reference?
Yes.
Undertale.
Mm-hmm. I've only recently
It's the reason
played
why they're called
Undertale.
glasses. Oh yeah, you got to ask her, right? And then you like
Thank you
took,
for the
like,
shout out,
30 hours trying
Shy.
to figure out what to do.
I was trying to
Thank you,
figure out
Reggie.
what to do. I was really trying to avoid all spoilers, even though some people in chat were being spoilerific.
I would totally believe that would happen because it was me.
And then we ran out of time because it was 3 a.m. where I live,
Damn.
and I really needed sleep. So
There's the clip.
as much as I would have loved to finish Asgore in one playthrough, just couldn't do it.
He's also not exactly easy.
That's
Well,
Apex.
I mean, I did beat him
Ah.
like right, but that's fine.
he's probably easy
I mean,
for
I
people
did
that
have like
know.
a bunch of healing items,
Hmm.
and I
Cool.
did beat Sans without using any healing items beforehand on the website. You know,
Nice.
Bad Time Simulator.
Hmm.
Bro, Sans is such a fun fight, bro. I'm trying to do him hitless, and I've gotten 60 like something HP at the end without using any healing items. Before, like, do you know the final attack where he like deals like 32 damage or something?
I've never
to you,
fought
like,
Sans.
unavoidable? Well,
He's
anyone-
literally on his first playthrough of a neutral run.
Yeah.
oh yeah, neutral run.
Neutral's not the right term. Blind run is really the right term.
Yeah.
It's neutral and blind.
Because neutral implies that I chose it, and blind implies that I made mistakes along the way that I don't even know are mistakes, that I don't realize are
Yeah.
mistakes, except that other people say, oh, that's not, I see you did this one thing, and I'm just shrugging and allowing it to
Like,
happen.
I don't know. I played the game.
Yeah, I played the game fresh,
I mean,
which I prefer.
It's
I
still
wish that was
really...
me when I first played Undertale.
What was that?
1 second.
Well, is everybody back from ads?
Okay, so basically what I was trying to say is that like whenever I see spoilers for a game, I always like assume that I'm not gonna play it because like whatever reason. And then I play it and then I'm spoiled and it's annoying.
Yeah. Nobody likes a storyline where they already know everything ahead of time.
I mean, Undertale and Omori were still fun.
Omori is also on my list of games to play after Undertale's beaten. It might be the next one
Yeah,
on
that's
the
really-
schedule, actually.
That's cool. I'll watch you play.
Cool. Oh, Tro says, I've done it before, and if the circumstance happened again, I would, but as a general rule, no. Take on an animal if you don't have the means to take them on? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure I followed the topic question. The topic question really is who out there is trying to get to your money, whether by ads, scams, social pressure. What in what ways are people trying to divorce you from the funds in your wallet? How are they trying to take it from you? And who's doing it the most? And who's successful? That sort of thing. That's the question.
I get so many scam calls. Not as much as I have in the past, but just in general, so many.
Jam, hi, and welcome. Thai bar girls. What's can you elucidate me? This is a universe I do not personally know, so I'm really curious what's going on. They're all over YouTube now asking for drinks. On YouTube, like live streaming on YouTube, asking for drinks, and then what? You give them you pay money to their stream and they buy a drink? Why would you do that? What's the incentive to buying somebody a drink in another country that's not hanging out with you? Why would anyone ever do that?
Actually gets 80% on an Adofi song at 1.6 times speed. That's really long.
Live stream, they drink and dance around and talk to you? Are people really so lonely to pay that kind of
Yes.
money?
Is that a question?
Probably.
I mean, it's a
Yes.
legitimate question on my part. It seems like not enough of a buy-in
What's
Yes.
not enough of a buy-in?
to
There are 100% people like that, like
Pay-
100%.
pay for a live streamer to buy a drink at a bar, and then they dance and talk to you.
Oh. No, what I don't understand is the streamers that it's just like reached a certain amount of subs or bits or whatever, and I will wiggle.
Right. Like,
What?
what's a wiggle? Who cares?
Bro, what?
You could just look up, wiggling your favorite type of person online, and you'd find a million Google searches.
Yeah, there was a streamer
Mostly
that I used to follow because I was perplexed and fascinated by the fact that they would set up their stream. They were originally an OF
Mhm.
creator.
Mhm.
What's that? Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Something we can't say
Um,
on stream.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember what that means.
Yeah.
And they would sit on chat and they would talk, and they used to play games at some point. But they stopped playing games like a long time ago.
Mhm.
And they would sit there and kind of just like bitch about shit, and then they would be like, okay, hey, I'm gonna go get ready, I'll be right back, and then they'd be gone for 40 fucking minutes, and they'd come back and they'd look no different. I'm like, did you just shit for 40 minutes?
Or just
Maybe
like
they hate
sat and doom scrolled on their phone while other people donated money to their stream.
And it makes me think, I'm like, are they like one of those people that like you call them in and you pay them to just ignore you?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because like that is some people's kink, and I ain't here to kink shame. I might kink ask why,
Sure.
but people are interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird way to spend money, but I'm not going to say you're wrong to spend your own money however you want. We'll catch up with chat once we're not pushing this point.
It's interesting finally seeing someone else play Doctor Strange that isn't one of us.
How do they do?
Yeah.
Not
They're
well.
not doing great.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I do feel like I'm bereft of a tank.
The first thing he did was make a portal straight onto
By
the point.
himself.
Oh no.
I stopped
that's
to
fun.
follow him because I recognized what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Didn't know if it helped that much because he went in the portal, saw everyone there, and just left me to die.
Oh dear. That was a
okay.
bad strange ult.
You revived me twice, Crims. Thank you.
It's my job. Somebody's coming up behind
Oh,
me. I hear them.
nice. Very good.
I managed to
Scarlet.
get past her shield.
Very
I
nicely
was
done.
healing you.
I was
and
mostly trying to
you
kill.
I
know,
appreciate
you were
you.
not healing her.
Was mostly trying to kill that shield every time it came up. Okay, so if you like watching them dance, lots of guys then go out there and meet with the girls. Oh, so these are streamers you can meet in real life? Is that right?
I
That
mean, if they're in a public
seems
place, yeah.
dangerous. That feels dangerous to me.
Yep.
AI video, not even
Right.
flesh. What if they like have deep fakes or something and it's just a random dude? Well, I guess the thing is you can meet them. That's the allure, is being able to meet somebody in real life that you've paid money to. And then when you pay money to them, obviously you feel that you're obligated. Or sorry,
Good stuff.
they're obligated to you. Which is awful and scary. I would not, as a streamer, want to feel like somebody in my chat
Could buy me.
yeah, could buy what I do with my life and autonomy. To some degree, we play around with some of those things so that we can be performers, but also not limitless. And
Yeah.
not in real life.
What's your guys' favorite Camellia song?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
I couldn't heal through Psylocke's ult.
I would suggest one of the songs called Spin Eternally.
Okay.
Oh, I did DM you a
One of my
song
favorites.
I saw that.
It just reminded me of you because it has a very Daft Punk feel to it.
Okay.
Job scam situations are incredibly common right now. Anything that's pay for a screening before an interview to emailing personal information like an ID and birth certificate. That is insane. I don't know why anybody would do that unless you're really desperate for a job. And then I guess I understand it, but that's definitely super scammy. By far the most common for me right now. Yeah, that makes sense. You're unemployed. You've already got a social pressure on you, a desperation on you, right? Well, most people do. They're not playing video games or using a computer at a bar. Yeah, that's so weird to me. That reminds me of apartments too, application fees, and you aren't even guaranteed to get the apartment. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've only had application fees for apartments that you're locked in and then you pay the fee. That would be crazy to pay a fee for something that you don't even know that you're guaranteed. Lots of girls dance in line for cash, online for cash. I guess it's not strange to me that people would dance for money. It's strange to me that people would pay to watch somebody dance for money when that's so what's the word I'm looking for? It's so easy, it's so base to actually do that for money. Why would somebody spend that money? That's what's baffling to me. I'm stuck. The newness is that Thai girls are doing it
You
in
guys are
bars.
just playing this game.
Also, the girls doing that probably have someone there protecting them, or maybe know someone at the bar, like who owns it, kind of thing.
You might overestimate Thailand.
That's true. Or they could have like a sugar daddy there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Shit. Oop. Thanks, Crims.
Welcome.
Thai girls have been doing this in bars for 50 years, dancing for money. They must be great dancers. Just kidding.
Just like
I
in Final Fantasy.
think it's crazy how desperate people will spend money for things.
Hey, look, we don't have a tank anymore.
Oh, lovely.
Who did he change to? Oh, he changed to Doctor Strange. Or, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Tank adjacent, at least.
Yeah, but also not exactly helpful.
Yeah, you know, where we live, sometimes we run into, like, if we have to stop at a gas station or a convenience store, we'll run into sort of like, they're usually older folks who hang out at gas station, convenience store,
Like lotto places.
lottery machines. Yeah, they're like video poker and video slot machines sort of devices. And they'll just hang out there and spend and spend and spend. And that to me is a surprising way to spend your extra money.
I'm back.
Hi.
Did I miss anything?
We're just
All of
talking
that
about why
stuff.
people spend money the way they do.
I spend money on aspects of different crafts that I don't know that I will ever actually like flesh out or get good
I
at.
spend money on video games.
I mean, I do that too.
you-
I have literally hundreds of games that I don't know if I will ever play.
You have
I have a
direct
Steam
usage
family,
of those.
and I have 800 uncategorized games.
Wow.
I only recently categorized mine because it was making me fucking crazy.
There's one bonus to playing on console, and it's you very rarely get hit with a Steam sale. And then he's like, oh cool, I own 500 games now that I will never touch. Fuck.
Hey, at least they're on sale.
That's true. Teresa, should I have a floppy poppy?
Oh, what?
You should have a floppy poppy.
Okay, grab me a floppy poppy.
Oh, what now?
Popsicle.
Maybe.
Oh. You're making me hungry for one now. Thanks.
It's entertainment just like Twitch or gambling. Well, I also don't understand why people spend the money that they do on Twitch and gambling.
Let's go gambling.
And I'm a Twitch streamer.
Oh, dang it.
Open it and put it in my mouth.
No, it might be hard to eat this while you're playing.
That's why you're gonna put it in my mouth.
I'm not gonna make it go in and out of your mouth.
Wow.
She has failed every alt.
And this time I killed her.
I might do that.
Go away, duo.
Let it go now. I got him, guys.
Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah,
good riddance
huh?
to that guy anyway.
Fuck yeah, gag your husband!
I have a personal vendetta against you. My arch nemesis.
Me?
Whoever just gagged.
They've seen it.
Holy crap, how did I get so many gosh darn kills?
We kept you alive.
You
Sure.
did. You did good. Done did good.
Dun, did.
Get good, says Hornet.
Oh, there's the freaking heal pump and getting right past the fucking
Nice.
that shield by a
Also-
gosh darn corner.
The way that YouTube crops images is so weird. Like, I just put in an image, like, it looks fine in the preview, and then,
Mhm.
like, I go look on the video, and it's, like, zoomed in, like, 0.75 times.
Oh. Yeah, I don't like shadow adjustments like that.
Like, there was this really funny meme I found on Google Images, and I put it as my thumbnail. It looked fine in the preview, and then I looked in the video, it's just like the bottom text. Or, like, not the bottom text, like the bottom section of the top text. Like, it was like, we are going to beat you to death, but instead you just see you to death.
Yeah, super annoying.
Wow.
I will bring peace to this universe, no matter the cost.
Also, like, 5 videos in, I learned how to edit using Clipchamp.
Oh, nice. Clipchamp's a good one.
I don't know. I don't want to use DaVinci because I don't want to sell all my personal information.
Does DaVinci Free say anything you do they'll own sort of thing?
I don't know. It's just that, like it says like something about a business email. I don't have a business.
Oh, weird.
Just like the first time.
Yeah, what do you think? This is my business?
Better than that. Whatever happens, we'll still be together. And let's save the timelines.
But yeah, Jam, maybe
having
living my life as poor as I have most of my earning life, I don't feel like spending money to watch somebody dance seems like a good way to spend money. But maybe I've just
I
never
don't
had that
understand
kind
strip
of
clubs. I don't understand.
yeah, maybe I've just never had that kind of money where I wouldn't miss it. I feel like I would always miss money.
Well, I will say both of you are attractive people who have had relationships pretty consistently.
Well, even if I didn't, I've never had money to just say, well, I'm unattractive and I will use money to fill the gap. I'm lonely and money will make up for it. I don't have money that will make up for it, and I never have.
Yeah.
You gotta fill that Mettaton shaped hole in your Mettaton shaped heart, man.
Yeah.
I remember that, bro. But instead of Mettaton, it's money.
Oh no.
There's so many tabs I have open right now.
That's our life,
Pretty
yeah. Oz and me are tab goblins.
Yeah, I have like the worst. I'm the worst. I'm
Okay,
just
but guess how
objectively-
many I have? It's less than 10.
Oh, okay. Well, you're doing
Oh.
pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing really fucking good. I have 37.
I have 58.
I have 80 on phones, Chrome, and then
Oh, phone?
More.
I have 177
Yeah.
last time I checked.
yeah.
Phones, I only have one. I only keep like one tab open.
Wow. You have so much more resolve.
Currently,
than
I
do.
have 7.
But I have other devices that have like over 100.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm gonna die. Oh yeah.
It
Okay,
happens.
now I have 5.
Well, that's the first time I died though.
3.
Brag about it.
I got 3 tabs. Let's go.
Were you raw? Are you respawning anywhere? Oh, there you are.
2 of them are completely different incremental games.
Ah.
They're trying to pincer us between these. Let's go back the other way.
Sure. Yeah,
Really?
I'm,
Wow.
I'm just watching people die left and right. I can only heal so much.
Like
as-
Bed Wars this is like a Bed Wars where you can just like spectate when you die. But like instead you respawn wherever.
Mhm.
There's another back entrance that we could use.
There is. But it comes down to 2 lanes, so no matter what, you're one of 2 lanes.
I'm back.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I
back.
spawned with a good chunk of health
hmm
compared to how I used to. I had about a third of my health left.
Oh.
Oh, she died immediately.
My ult goes away and then 2 people die.
Well, she ulted and died, so her ult also went away.
Yeah. That's why I feel like some champions just don't
Fucking,
Aren't
they're
as
really
good as
at stopping
others.
my ult.
some champions ults persist through death and others do not. I don't feel like that feels fair.
We got a hella up top too.
hmm The argument can be made for any entertainment. Well, I don't spend money on almost any entertainment unless it's also educational. Our entertainment wants our money. Yours does. This is why I don't watch a lot of shows and movies and that sort of thing in part. You don't buy entertainment if you're starving. Jam has it right. Yeah. You buy food. And oftentimes our excess funds go to food. And
No, a lot of our excess funds go to me impulse buying things for our kids.
well, and when we buy for the kids, it's educational, right? It's not an entertainment thing.
I suppose.
It's infrastructure investment because littles
Need
get
infrastructure.
get better over time,
Extra
whereas some adults do not get better over time.
And have you heard of Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door remake on the Nintendo Switch?
I'm sorry, that was a whole ass mouthful. What?
Paper Mario.
I've never
and the
heard of
Thousand-Year
Paper Mario:
Door
The Thousand-Year
Ah,
Door remake on the
Yes,
Nintendo Switch.
I have heard this.
What about the song "We Could Get More Machine Gun Size Style, More Genre Switches"? That one's a good one. Name your song name.
Everyone else.
I really tried to be on that point, but wow.
Same.
Yeah.
I tried to stop him, but there's only so much you can do, and there's just everyone's ult up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention, they just like annihilated us.
Yeah. I spend a lot on the frivolous things that entertain me. You've got, if you have your basic needs met, i.e. your food, your bills, and your infrastructure all paid for, why not entertain yourself with the extra money?
Yeah.
If what entertains you are dancing girls in Thailand, then sure, I guess.
That's crazy.
Or if it's books, or if it's, whatever. I understand.
What's your guys' favorite book series?
That's a good question.
Or standalone book? Doesn't really matter.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not
It has been a very long time since I've been able to just sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's definitely gotta be Wings of Fire.
Wings of Fire, Teresa.
I love Wings of Fire, bro. I got to book 11. And then there were new characters. And then I stopped reading. I don't know
feel
why.
like-
I don't
Go
know
ahead.
why, but like, there's just like this thing where I can't get used to new characters like that fast. Like whenever a book series just like throws in an entirely different like group of people that are the main characters, it feels really weird.
I feel that way,
I
definitely.
get that.
Yeah. Jam says Otherland by Tad Williams is my current favorite, but I'm also enjoying The Long Earth by Baxter and Terry Pratchett. Oh, cool.
Okay.
I've heard good
Actually,
things
my-
about Otherland.
Why'd you make me think of this? I love it. It is still my favorite book, but it's a
Love you.
close second from The Plucker.
4, 3, 2,
I haven't heard of that one.
1.
It's in the style of a children's book, or children's dark picture book, but the artist is known for doing like very upsetting, disturbing imagery, or like goth-ish. It's like if Toy Story were written by Tim Burton when Tim Burton was still Tim Burton.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds awfully familiar. Did
The book is now
make
like
the-
$800.
Wow.
Did they make like the Giving Tree or something, or is that a completely different person?
Completely different.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could have sworn I've heard of them though. I guess there's just like so many books, people who make books that I'm just like kind of mixed up.
Jam says Otherland by Otherland just got optioned by the guy who made the Wheel of Time series. You mean the guy who finished the Wheel of Time series? Brandon, wait, what was his name? Sanderson? Sanderson? What's his first name?
I think it's Brandon.
It's Brandon Sanderson.
Okay.
Actually, I think I've sent you pictures from the Plucker
Oh,
book
the
before.
TV producer for Wheel of Time. Oh, okay. I don't know anything about the TV Wheel of Time.
It was not good from what I heard.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't know anything about it. I played a Wheel of Time PvP game that was also really terrible. I feel like it's a good book, and when somebody tries to step in and do anything besides book it, then it's no longer good.
Yeah.
You guys play Hollow Knight, right?
I play Hollow Knight.
Oz does.
Do you play multiplayer?
No.
Dang.
I would just say I
Any
never
mods?
have, but I'm not opposed.
I mean, I've never done like, you know like Fireborn and stuff.
No.
Dang.
Sorry, I am like super not in the loop apparently.
It's a mod.
No, Fireborn is a really good, is a Hollow Knight content creator, and they're like the god gamer.
I thought the multiplayer was a mod.
Oh, yeah, multiplayer is also a mod. And sometimes they make a dream style hunters versus speedrunner like thing, but in Hollow Knight, and it's like really entertaining.
Jam says it's not great, so I'm kind of skeptical about this adaptation. Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, I think it's good.
Ooh, insta-killed.
Ah,
And I
died
feel like it
instantly.
would be like really cool if I could do something like that.
I would say maybe my favorite book of all time might be a Murakami book called Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the
That one was really fucking good.
End of the World. Yeah.
Bro, there's so many books I need to read. Oh my goodness.
It's uncomfortable not being able to read.
I will also say that I'm probably speaking to largely a sci-fi and fantasy reading majority of people. So when I say Murakami is neither of those. So don't expect that I'm suggesting either of those genres. Generally, I am not a fantasy or sci-fi person. I'm not necessarily in the same vein. I don't watch sci-fi movies. I don't watch a lot of fantasy, and I don't necessarily mainstream things like D&D. Even though I tend to attract that type of person, there's something about my personality that leans toward fandoms of that sort, but I'm not among those. My favorite types of books are surrealist, postmodernist stories.
Did you ever read the comic The Road?
Never
Or the book
heard
The
of
Road?
I've read the amount of comics I've read. I can count on half of one hand.
It's also just a novel as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of it.
It's literally just a son and his dad going through a post-apocalyptic wasteland with very little dialogue.
Okay. I watched The Postman. Is it related to that?
Speaking of very little dialogue, this sounds a bit weird, but animation versus Minecraft.
What?
Is a very good series. Basically, there's a bunch of non-verbal stick figures, and I mean, like, past episode 15 or something, there's like an actual like story and stuff.
Okay.
Kind of like how Skip Toilet was just a song that became a whole web series.
Dude, it's so good though.
Yeah, basically like that. It was just like them just like before the actual story is just like random stuff that the stick figures were doing like inside of Minecraft. Like there was this one episode about Lucky Blocks, and this other one about them making music with note blocks. And the episodes that are like past 25 maybe are like really good, especially episodes 29 and 30. Which are like the finales.
How long are they?
Well, episode 30 is 30 minutes long. And
That's
it's
a big
like,
commitment.
and it's the whole backstory of the main antagonist of the story. I won't spoil it, I'm just saying that it's really long.
Apparently you can't ult Emma Frost while she's ulting.
Boo.
And like, the story is so good for no talking at all throughout the entire thing. Like, I'm pretty sure the only, like,
Sniper. Hello,
only, like,
you
verbal
beautiful
thing-
bean.
that is ever in the show is like a sigh or something, and it was like once that I can remember.
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep
I
going.
still like red versus blue.
Don't blame you.
It went on for 19 seasons for a reason.
Yeah.
What went on for 19 seasons?
Red versus blue.
Not sure what that is.
Old internet series.
Yeah.
By the eye of Agamotto.
And also, there's additionally.
By the eye of Agamotto.
TV Wheel of Time isn't faithful to the books per se. It's a good introduction to the series and relays a lot of content in a relatable way. A lot of the down on its release was about race for casting choices. The last episode of the first season was mid, pandemic, and god awful. Oh, that's unfortunate. Like A Scanner Darkly? Oh, like postmodernism? I watched A Scanner Darkly. I'd need to watch it again to see what I felt about it, to feel like if I knew what genre it was in. It's been so long, I just don't remember. But postmodernism would be like anything by Christopher Moore, probably, what's am I thinking of? Kerouac, obviously. Murakami. Oh, Palahniuk. What else am I thinking of? There are a few people in the space that are like clear. Everything they do is in that vein kind of thing. It's improved and diverged more since. What about the Canticle for Leibowitz? I have no idea what that is. Read the book, don't judge it by the movie. Oh, Scanner Darkly? No idea. Chuck Palahniuk, that guy? Yeah. His work is very, like, postmodern, for sure.
More than 2 years. It's 2.5 years. More than 2.5 years. It has been a truly long time.
It's barely over 2.5 years. 31 over 12. Bro, my head is blanking so hard right now.
Canticle for Leibowitz is a wild sci-fi book. Yeah. Don't think I've ever heard of it.
And 30 is 2.5. So it would be 2 and 7 over 12? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 and
Well,
7/12 of a year.
That is it for me for the night because it was a fucking long day, and I need to get some sleep. I'm just exhausted.
Okay.
I haven't
You
missed
just
your
get right
streams.
now.
What was that, Stuart?
Sometimes the streak thing's glitchy. I don't think mine's ever worked.
The streak thing only works on D's stream for me.
Mine never worked.
Yeah,
I keep losing my stream.
stream streaks are broken.
Only because, and it's only on D's stream. Everybody else's doesn't work.
Yeah.
D's stream is the only one that works for all of Twitch. That's all it is.
Same.
But the only reasons that I have lost stream streaks with D is because I keep passing out and not even turning on my computer or signing in.
It just feels weird to be in triple digits.
Yeah, I'd bet.
Kind of anti-euthanasia, but also kind of anti-religion. I could be down for that kind of story. Charo says, as a show, Wheel of Time is worth a watch, but it's about as accurate as a movie to book, rather than a story told from book like any reader would prefer. Gotcha. Personally enjoy it.
Have you ever...
Sorry,
Sorry, continue.
my watch streak is 2. Troa, that's so unfair. Twitch does you dirty more than anyone else I know.
Have you heard of a movie that has, or ever heard of a movie to book translation that's like actually good?
While I haven't read the book, I've heard that Fight Club is maybe one of the best book to movie translations ever made. I can't verify that. If anybody else has ever read Fight Club,
Has a different ending, and that's about it.
Okay, that's pretty good then.
I will say the first season of Game of Thrones.
Um,
Game of Thrones is a book?
yes, I
Yeah.
suppose I would agree.
Yes, it is.
It's a series called A Song of Ice and Fire.
A Dance
The,
of Fire and
only-
Ice.
Only difference in the first season that I can remember being like kind of bigger, like oh, they changed that, was I believe the backstory is told about the mountain. It's usually Gregor tells it, but they made it Littlefinger.
Gregory.
Lord of the Rings, Holes. Is Lord of the Rings pretty close? It's been so long. Between the time I read the books to the time I read the movies to now, it's been a big gap since I watched the movies, and then a bigger gap since I read the books.
All I think is, Grandpa, I'm tired of doing this.
Lord of the Rings is accurate, but omits quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Mostly
can only really
cutting out
fit so much in like 9 hours of movies.
I also feel like Tolkien suffered from bad pacing because there wasn't anything to compare to, and he was just long-winded, right?
I tried to read those,
It was so hard to read.
Yeah.
and Tree Beard section just made me quit.
A few versions of Pride and Prejudice. Okay, that's been done a few times, right?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is off a lot, at the same time very close for Viggo Mortensen. It's funny, it translated that to Virgo. Had the book on set and would challenge the script to make it closer to the book. Go Viggo, good job.
All right.
The books have a lot of exposition that makes it very slow to read, where the visual handles that well. That I can appreciate. Yeah, if a book is slow because of the pacing of how much detail goes into just describing an area, whereas a movie can just be like, okay, well, we designed it that way. Then you don't have to bother with that part.
Yeah.
I love The Hobbit, though the book, we haven't seen those movies, have we? Or I
The
haven't.
Hobbit was the original one that came out.
No, the movie.
Oh, the continuing.
Yeah, I've
ones?
read the book The Hobbit, but I've never seen the Hobbit movies.
Well, what I'm
Movies
also
suffer.
saying,
They suffered?
there was originally The Hobbit that came out like way before.
Oh, like
I think there's a very old one.
There's a
yeah.
BBC
Yeah.
cartoon from I don't know when.
There's also Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
The animated cartoon's not bad either,
I never saw it.
Okay.
for The Hobbit at least.
Yeah. Chronicles of Narnia had a version acted with kids that tried real hard to stick to the script. What
I'm gonna
happened
go,
to that?
guys.
All right,
Good
Oz.
night.
Have a good night.
It does.
Good night.
Night.
I'm actually gonna head
If
out
only I could
myself.
advertise more.
All right, Crims. Have a good night as well.
Oh,
I
see
will
ya.
do my best.
Have a day.
Have a day.
Good night.
I bet you can't guess where I got that from.
Internet, probably.
I've heard it before. I just don't know where it originally started.
I got it from Microwave Society. Good YouTube channel, by the way.
I was right. So you want to know what takes my money?
Yes.
Games coming out that I have already beaten.
A game you've already beaten. Is it Oblivion?
Stop kissing everything.
No, I've already
Hollow
purchased
Knight?
Oblivion. They are re-releasing Onimusha 2, and I loved that series, so I'm rebuying a PS2 game on PS5.
Wow.
It's been remastered and like quality of life stuff on it, but I have beaten it many times.
I don't know that game.
Think Resident Evil, but with samurai
Interesting.
and like historical fixture characters, like real people,
But zombies.
and real actors in place of the main characters.
Neat.
Like the third one has Jean Reno in it, but it's
Who?
mostly famous Japanese actors.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Jean Reno is?
No.
Did you ever see the American Godzilla movie that didn't do well?
I don't know. I've only seen
He's-
one Godzilla movie, and it was an American one.
He was he's a French actor. You might recognize him if you saw him, kind of thing.
Oui,
Okay.
oui.
Yeah, it's just interesting series where it has like the old tank controls in a like semi-horror-ish, like feudal Japan, demons and stuff.
Okay.
It's fun. Ish.
Risa says, I hope the new Narnia follows well and starts with the magician's nephew. The OG Narnia is this animated 80s thing that's actually so good. Oh, I don't know that one. What happened
Into
is...
the wardrobe or something.
Okay. What happened is there's a Disney adaptation, which was actually pretty on point. Another project Disney may be doing that I enjoyed. Season 1 of ID Percy Jackson. I'm not sure.
Percy Jackson was good.
Okay.
You guys remember Wish for the 100-year anniversary of Disney?
Yeah, I watched it once.
It was
Was it
shitty
good?
from what I heard.
It wasn't shitty. It definitely wasn't shitty. I just don't know if I would call it like
Good.
memorable. Yeah.
You are my
It
I
did.
don't think it's worth. I don't think it. Like, I don't think it really deserves being with the 100-year anniversary
No, yeah.
for Disney.
It just feels like it tried really hard to do everything people would expect of a 100th anniversary movie, while then missing out on being anything a good, memorable Disney movie should do.
They should have. You know, I saw this video where it's like they should have added a twist villain and a regular villain to the film to make it like really cool. Instead
Yeah.
of adding this like fake villain that's just like actually good but gets possessed by this weird book.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why he's evil. And then the queen is a twist hero.
Right. It felt very like even the parts you couldn't have guessed weren't necessarily good. Just because they kept things secret from you doesn't mean that that's a good plot. It just means that they were good at keeping a secret.
I just remember seeing clips from it and going, this kind of looks like a high-end Barbie movie.
No, it
I
had
don't
its
know if you've
own.
ever seen one of those like really poorly animated Barbie movies.
It had its own unique mythos. It didn't feel like straight to VHS or anything like that, but it just wasn't as nuanced as new Disney feels. Old Disney, a villain can get away with not having a real motivation, and new Disney, the villains are better. There's a reason why everybody does what they do, and I feel like Wish didn't give people good enough motivation for their actions.
You know, someone made the "This Is the Things I Get" song like way better. Like they made a remake of it. And it's like actually good.
Good. I'm glad somebody cares more about it than the original.
And it uses like different melodies from a bunch of different villain songs.
Oh, that's smart. Like a real tribute to everything that came before.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what's the plan now, D?
We can continue to play if you would like to.
Either way, chatting is easier while we're not playing. So if you want to continue doing that,
That's true. What I might do is pop back into Final Fantasy XIV, which was my original Wednesday desired content before everybody wanted to play Rivals together. And it's easier to start and stop stuff
I
while
was gonna say.
while we're chatting. Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna like grind it or something.
Yeah, I have a lot of crafters and gatherers that are still not max level, which is my bad. What were you going to
Just
say,
like
Stuart?
a game equally as easy to start and stop at any time. You and I could always start a Baldur's Gate playthrough.
Baldur's Gate? True. I could start creating a character this evening.
If you'd like to.
Sure. Let's do that.
I would have to get your Larian account.
I don't know.
Since
I don't think I have one of those.
I believe you make one, or it'd be linked to your Steam account. That's how I got Oz's.
Gotcha. Let me catch up with chat, and then I'll
Hear
participate.
me out. Like shooter games, I don't really like them.
I feel like while I have fun playing them, they detract from my ability to communicate as a streamer. So it's yeah. Also, congrats, Stuart, on 100 stream streak. You're one of the only people that Twitch actually loves and doesn't mess up your stream streak every week.
It only works on yours like Oz.
Yeah.
I tried to do it to Oz too, but it just nothing.
Charles says the originals are still my favorite. I think we're talking about Percy Jackson, but I can like two things. The Disney Percy was very well done. Loved it. I also like the original movies. Yeah, I just really don't know about this stuff. He was the shooter in The Professional. Oh, who Stuart was talking about? Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Only from The Professional, though. I've never, or I don't remember him from anything else if I've seen him or not.
You know, I'm pretty sure that Zeus is cheating on his wife more times than you have subscribers.
That's probably true. Should I prep stuff for
Honestly,
Tiny's
bro.
ice cream party fixins tonight or tomorrow morning? Tonight is gonna be upset that you're doing that kind of work, but you're gonna be happier for it because tomorrow you will really hate tonight you for putting it off. Tomorrow you will really be upset, I feel.
Tomorrow me will really hate me putting off sleep.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow me's problem.
Risa says, I find book to TV show generally far surpasses book to movie. Oh, really? Likely because movies have time constraints, but getting a TV show is probably harder to get greenlit. Can't wait for Fourth Wing. I'm trying to think if there's any book that I've seen a TV series based off of. I just, one, I don't read a lot of books, and two, I watch even less TV, so I don't really know.
Song of Ice and Fire.
I mean, that's like the only thing, and I wouldn't have read the books had it not been for Oz's mom pressuring me, forcing me to read those books, and
Fire and Ice is that?
and I'd say that that show tanked so hard in the last 2 seasons that everybody has like a real sour taste in their mouth for what they did.
True.
My brother got diagnosed with instantly. Why do I feel like that's a troll comment just waiting to happen? Trying to think what that could be. I know about Ligma, but I don't know about Sigma. I know about Mind Goblin. Tom,
Sigma.
hi, welcome. Little Big Planet is the best game. Agree or disagree? I've never played it. Never played Little Big Planet.
I remember playing one of those games.
Oz says, regardless, I have to be up at 6 a.m. If I get to sleep sooner, I get more sleep and I'm able to do the thing better tomorrow. But you'll be on time constraint. You will not want to wake up before 6 a.m. And you already don't have downtime from the time you wake up to the time we have to get the kids to school. So if you're trying to cram another thing in that constrained time, you'll be, what's the word I'm looking for? More frantic. If you wake up earlier than the time you usually wake up, you'll be upset. I would do it. I would do it at night. I would not procrastinate it if I were in your shoes. Shadow and Bone was okay. The book's way better, but the show is still good. Okay. I enjoyed that one, but I don't know the books. It'll be a read. I don't have to worry about packing backpacks. True. Did that take a lot of your time in the mornings? I have to send Tiny and jammies. That's easy.
Oz
I
can
assume
do
you
part of it
guys-
tonight.
Part of the setup? Why would she start setup for an ice cream party and then stop and do the other part later or the next day?
Just make the morning even easier and not sacrifice all sleep time.
The thing is, it's like setting up for an ice cream party is like a one-off job. If you start it, stop it, start it and stop it, I feel like you're doing twice the amount of starting work and twice the amount of stopping work, if that makes sense, versus if you just did it all in one go. There's some things I get.
Exactly what,
Huh?
I also don't know exactly what she needs to do, so that might not be helpful me saying that either.
Yeah, I feel like there are some things you can do and then stop in the middle of, and other things that stopping in the middle of it makes it take twice as much effort.
I assume you guys have heard of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
What's that?
No shot.
Heard of what?
Avatar: The Last Airbender? Is that the blue people?
Stuart is trolling you.
No, not Avatar: The Blue People. The blue people suck.
Stuart is absolutely trolling you right now.
Chat, is this real?
Don't. The chat will tell you to never believe Stuart, is what they will say.
It'll take a little while, but
we
you'll
have
get there.
both seen every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender multiple times.
I've watched it like 3 times,
Yeah.
4 times. It's so good, man.
Yeah, honestly, I've
I've
watched a
watched
lot of like master classes in how to write fantasy that use Avatar as a background. Kit, you're trolling too. Kit's like the Smurfs.
I don't get why people always hate on shows. Like, bro, just like stop complaining and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love that my trolling is
I get
semi-contagious.
that sometimes so like it's actually bad, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Like I've heard people criticize Korra and stuff, but like it's a good show, bro.
Oz says I only need to crumble cookies and cut up strawberries. Okay, I suppose that wouldn't take too long. Up to you.
Crumble Cookies, like the brand?
Nah, like actually crumble up cookies herself. Shadow Hunters was a weird adaptation. We have the Mortal Instruments movie and then nada because it tanked. Then there's the Amazon series where everyone is aged up, highly deviates from the books, and everyone has bright pink lips. That's weird.
Yeah, they have like weird lipstick on there.
I'm going to do it in the morning. Tomorrow me will appreciate the sleep. Okay. I'm going to ask tomorrow you if you made the right choice, and we'll use that for future navigation. How does that sound? I'll be far more awake if I do it now, and I will hate myself. Okay. Heartbeats racing? Yeah, you maybe go to sleep.
That's tomorrow's problem, okay?
Risa says the new Avatar was really great. One Piece live action was impressive too. I don't know.
I've heard a bunch of I've definitely seen some really bad live action shows. Like I don't think there's a single one that's like actually good.
People will bitch about anything though. So I was a fan of the live action Avatar, but there was just people nitpicking, complaining about stuff, and I just like, oh, it doesn't take away anything from the original one. It's still pretty good.
Which
Every now
one?
and then there's a little jank, but it's fun.
The one that's like 3 people try to move one small rock?
No, the one on Netflix that's actually well made.
They're both on
And
Netflix.
they kill people in that show, which is interesting because they only implied it in the original one.
Wow.
As a first.
Here's the time of rejuvenation on the Damien stream alert. I've never seen Airbender except for the movie. Kit, really? You've never seen the original? It was so well done.
The original is so good, bro. The storytelling is amazing. The world building is like impeccable.
Jam says they like
The more I give it compliments, the more I realize that it sounds like I'm just glazing it.
I mean, there's no reason for you to, though, you know? Like, complimenting something with no reason, nobody could really, oh, you're already requesting my friendship? I haven't even said yes to anything.
It's funny because it wouldn't let me until you started the game for the first time.
I see.
It kept saying error.
Gotcha. I like the live action Cowboy Bebop. I never saw it, but Cowboy Bebop was is probably in my top 5 favorite anime I've ever watched in the history of
1
anime.
second, I'm gonna go. I'm craving for a soda right now. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
yeah, do your thing. Yeah, I never saw the live action one. Can everybody see the lowest level icon on the far left? They say on stream, everything is darker because of encoding. So I just want to make sure that I'm making it visible for all you all to be
I haven't put it on 2 TVs to check for you.
this location right here. If you can make that out, then
I
don't
can
know.
get out on my main TV, but on my PC monitor or on my laptop monitor, I cannot see it.
Yeah, my phone, I can't see it either.
All right, let's bring it up a little bit. It's a little dark on my OBS too. How about there?
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Barely.
Okay. Barely is fine enough. Yeah. Oh, it was canceled, the live action Cowboy Bebop. It took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that even if I recognize something is good, it's okay not to be interested in consuming the media. Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like young me was that way, but older me, I've been involved in so many different circles and of such a wide diversity of tastes. I just had to come to peace with that conclusion too. I'd feel guilty or like I was saying it wasn't good because I didn't want to see it. The undisplayed worked? Okay, cool. I'll accept there. Okay, where do I accept your friend request? Manage account?
Hello, is this thing on?
Hi, we hear you. Friends list. Friend request received.
I've got my soda.
What are we drinking tonight?
Shasta Black Cherry,
Nice, nice, nice.
caffeine free.
Black cherry is a good flavor. Do I have audio coming through?
Sometimes it just feels like I overload my taste buds too much, bro.
I think that's just a general everyone problem. Everything's meant to taste as powerful as possible all the time. Sweetest
me.
sweets, savoriest, saltiest, sourest, everything is augmented.
To the max.
Yeah. I need this on game.
Augmented is like a really sophisticated word for this. for
Sorry, that's
talking
just
about sodas.
that's how my brain works. Every
Yeah,
time I
me
think
too
of a word
sometimes.
to insert into a sentence, my brain goes, what's the highest level dictionary word that rolls right off your tongue? Use that one instead of a common word. And it's just how I've always been.
Yeah, like bourgeoisie.
Yeah. Well, that also came from, I was going to make a story or a stream about this, but for a while I was watching a lot of YouTube, a lot more than I ever have in my entire life. And I got really addicted to people doing video essays, if you kind of know what that genre is. So like Philosophy Tube,
Like-
ContraPoints, H-Bomber Guy, stuff that's like long form, like storytelling, edutainment kind of stuff. And I felt like I was getting radicalized toward a certain political ideology. And there's a lot of talk that was like bourgeoisie and proletariat and like lots of like Marxist communist sort of conversation talking points, words that were not part of my regular speech and then became so. And I felt like, yeah, I was getting pushed really far down one particular rabbit hole. I tried to counteract that and I realized I really hated the opposition. And now my algorithm's foobar. It's all over the place. I get fed stuff from all sorts of weird corners. Everything from very scientific and conservative of thought sort of people that don't go too far out of their box to radical left, radical right, really crazy conspiracy theorists and
Scientific conservative?
yeah, what I mean, not conservative like the American political term conservative, just like I will not speak on anything that's not verifiable, that type of conservative. Like somebody who's not radical about what they say, they only say true things. And if you disprove them, in their content, they just agree with you instead of fighting you, which I like. I personally like if you can find proof that somebody made a bad claim and they say, oh yeah, that's fair. I like those people. I don't like somebody who doubles down in their wrongness and gets more wrong just because it's interesting to their fans.
Constantly incorrect.
Constantly incorrect.
I said confidently incorrect.
Oh yes, confidently too. Yes, I know.
There's this one YouTuber called Professor Dave Explains, and he's like really cool. He makes a bunch of educational content, but also he makes some stuff that's like debunking charlatans and con artists and stuff.
I love that.
Like flat earthers, and there's this one guy like Terry Howard or something. The guy that said like 1 × 1 = 2 or something.
Oh, yes, I've seen that guy's claims. He was an old actor, like from the 70s and 80s, right? Terrence Howard. That's who he is.
Yeah, Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now. Yeah, he's got that 1 × 1 = 2 new math idea. This is just like late
He was
career.
gonna play War Machine in Iron Man. He was the first roadie in the first Iron Man movie.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, when he was younger, he wasn't. Well, I don't know if he wasn't weird. He didn't say anything weird out loud. He might have had these theories all this life, but it wasn't until later.
Apparently, I think he was like fired because he was like being rude to someone or something, or like being really annoying.
Oh, yeah.
He was asking for more money than Robert Downey Jr. in the second Iron Man, so they replaced him with Don Cheadle.
Ah, gotcha.
And they actually make a joke about it. As soon as Don Cheadle goes like on screen, it works in the scene, but it's like, it's me. I get it. Get over it.
That's funny.
I will also say, before we start a multiplayer campaign, there is one thing I will have you get from the mod thing that I had Oz get.
Sure.
It will not change your experience other than just not letting experience go to waste near the end of the game.
Okay. What do I get?
So you're going to type in unlock level curve.
Found it. It's Chinese, apparently. What does it say? It's a bunch of characters I don't recognize. Wait, this is Deng Ji Shang something something Zhong Han Bian. What is that?
So that's kind of it, but there's an American version. Maybe go back and capitalize each letter of the, and it's all one word.
Sure. Oh, it's one word. Gotcha. Maybe if I just do it all one word. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them for, yeah.
I believe somewhere on the left there is a tab that will say Mac and console compatible.
Uh-huh. Oh, that reduces the amount of them. There's still a bunch of them. Some of them say patches.
Whatever the newest patch one, patch 8, compatible.
Maybe this one says it. It's just blocked off. Whoa, there's 2 people standing inside of each other on the screen. It's gross.
That's how babies are made.
I don't need to know about Baldur's Gate baby making.
It wasn't say Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can tell, but I don't have children.
Yes, I can tell. I detect Baldur's Gate. You are right, Eli.
Tell, but I'm a minor.
Oh, we don't do any ageism here, so everybody's allowed in. If there's a TOS breach, it's between you and the platform, so we're agnostic to who you are and what you come from. Ultimately, especially when we do like topics where we're sitting here and chatting with each other, I don't like anybody to feel like you are too old or too young or part of a group of people that other people might have a bias against or for. just if you have good ideas or if you have something to share or personal experience, I want your ideas to matter more than what people think about a part of you that you can't change ultimately.
Yeah, I sometimes get annoyed, like, cause like people will always say like I'm too young to know something or whatever.
Yeah,
But like
I'm really
I feel
against.
like I'm
Go ahead.
mature enough for that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not mature enough.
I mean,
Don't worry.
not emotionally matured, but I think I'm like
Emotional
mentally
maturity doesn't come with age.
available for it.
Yeah.
I'm proof of that.
Yeah, there are
Yeah.
plenty of people well older than me that have never developed an emotional maturity. So it's not reliant on age. Good ideas are not reliant on age. They're not reliant on your experiences. They're not reliant on your education. Everybody can have good insights about different topics and subjects, and it does not matter. I don't gatekeep here. So literally anybody can join our conversations, and I don't care about the characteristics about you that you cannot change. I care about, who you are as a person, what you bring to the table,
Except for
your
the
thoughts, your
TOS.
emotions.
Now, me on the other hand, I gatekeep. I do all that. He doesn't have to.
Shut up.
Now me on the other hand, I generally consider myself an annoying person, but that's probably just because of my ADHD.
Then you're in good company. Plenty of
And I can't get meds because I don't eat enough.
viewers here also have ADHD. Do you mind if I find you on this game as well? Troa, please add me. I highly recommend it. Sabina has been doing her a bunch lately. Terrence isn't that old. He's not old enough to be in like 80s shows. I thought he was like, wasn't he born in the 60s, late 60s? He was in that show that was huge in the 2010s. Oh, maybe I don't remember his career that well. I thought he was in older stuff, but I guess I don't know. Haven't really followed him. I have heard him on interviews talking about his new math, and his theories are weird and confusing. Like
The
his
supposed third body problem being solved, which is literally just an AI creating fake math problems.
Yeah.
Like two absolute value signs in one equation. like right next to each other. Like the absolute value of like something.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Which does nothing.
Yeah. Kit says the only time I'll draw a line is when we're talking about legal maturity. Oh, true. Some things are just not for you until you are no longer a minor. I would agree. In fact, I do feel like our lines for minority and majority are kind of weird. Like they give certain rights that I feel are confusing, and other ones are denied. I also feel like a lot of people would benefit from having a line drawn at the time of the prefrontal cortex being fully matured, which is usually 25 to 28 for most people, right? And so like certain things like being married before that prefrontal cortex is completed is something that I think requires extra weight and consideration because of how much you change in your 20s. It's like a second puberty, right? An emotional and mental one especially.
Puberty still doesn't hit me, bro.
No worries. And so like I feel like there are a number of reasons why it's so abstract and so biological that to put like raw hard numbers on things is too much of a artificial standard. Put up the game, not sure how to. I presume through multiplayer, but I'll take a look-see. If you get in DMs with Stuart, he might be able to guide you because he just added me.
Really quick, it depends if they're on console or not. It's easier on PC, I believe.
Okay. Stuart, am I going into new game or multiplayer?
Multiplayer.
Okay. And then I want to make a character here, or what?
So when you hit multiplayer, you'll go to, it's kind of hard to see, the top of your screen. It'll say the crossplay option if there's one.
Yeah.
Then you'll create a crossplay game.
Oh, I create one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you want to be in charge of the world, it is going to, like, if you want to be able to play without me in there, That's what you'd have to do.
Nah. I wouldn't play a game like this alone.
That's fair.
Just me and all the computer alone together.
I mean, that is kind of how I played the game, and it was wonderful.
Kid says puberty
Dang,
can come
I
on
think-
silent or hit like a truck, no in between.
No, it's gonna hit like an ICBM for me or something.
I will say to Troa, I did go to multiplayer, and you just have to type in. There's a name. It's kind of hard to remember, but it's Damien Halme, all one word.
Stop.
Lowercase d for me. I don't know if it's case sensitive. Capital H.
Probably not case sensitive.
Only passwords are case sensitive, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Most of the time, anyway.
Are we going to be waiting for Troa?
That's a good question. Troa, would that be something you'd be interested in joining tonight or just future, what's the word I'm looking for? Future proofing. Troa says, no place for a name, Stuart, but cute.
When I did it, because I was doing it on console,
Mm.
it said I went to the friends list, manage friends, and then hit L3 to look up layering accounts.
I can also invite you via username, so I might be able to find you if I've got if you want to DM me a username or put it in chat. Kit says, my daughters both turned 9 and bam, I have women on my hands. This dad was not amused. Oh, their dad. Yeah. I know what you meant. That's, 9 it's early. I wouldn't call it necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? When puberty hits before precocious? Is that really the term? Precocious puberty? I might be just coming up with something very poetic that's not the actual word. But I know
it's
that
precocious.
it is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm smart.
Precarious.
Precarious. That's true too.
Also, Kit, you can be, if Oz can be everyone's dad, so can you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I invited via username, so I hope that sends through to you.
Like I said, it's easier on PC.
Yeah, I don't think 9 is early enough to be considered precocious, but it's still on the earlier side. The only thing that I feel like I don't know entirely about puberty and hormones and the journey of one's life like that, but I do know as far as like ovulation goes, if you're a person that can ovulate, that you can only do that so many times in your life. And I've even met people who have had like double ovulations. And with all of that in play, the earlier you start puberty, the faster your timer ticks off before, if you decide you wanted to procreate at all naturally, then you have to do that in a certain time frame, and your professional life, your education life, you need to make choices based around that timer. That can be, its own challenge there. I've told a few people who have unfortunately bad relationships with their parents, I would be their mom or dad. I would love that honor. I don't know that I necessarily qualify, but based on what a few people have said in stream, I feel like if anybody ever found this stream to be like the place for folks to come to where their parents were just not very parental, that I'd be happy to step in.
Did Kit just offer to be other people's mommy?
Yeah. No, not that. That's more of an Oz thing. When you say mommy,
I like
that's
how
an
you
Oz
instantly
thing.
said yes, then realized what I was saying.
Yeah, well, I realized what you were
What
doing
are
with
you
that.
saying, bro?
Yeah. A mom and a mommy are two very different things. Troa, did you get any sort of invite or thing sent to you?
Did you do it case sensitive?
No. I can. I'll try it that way. Boop. Player already invited or in lobby. So there's already an invite. You just have to find where it is.
So, you said you were gonna play Celeste sometime soon?
Me
Oh, they're gone.
or Stuart?
You were saying it, I think.
Oh, not me. I've never played Celeste. I don't own it. It's it seems like a really challenging game that requires significant repetition to get good at. It's probably not really my on brand for me. If I were to get into games that I could stream and deep chat, I feel like the number one genre of game isn't one that I generally play, but it'd be like autism games. So like Factorio, or games of that sort, where the logistics of the game involved don't require you doing significant deep diving in puzzle making. Like I feel like Blueprints would be one that would pull me away from chat to try to solve puzzles. So I would be less engaged with you and more engaged with the game, or I'd have to choose back and forth between the two. Whereas games that are a lot of building on a different level than the conversation level, so I could still keep talking with chat, would be ideal. Minecraft would be another great example. If the pay is good, just saying. Honestly, if I got paid to be a professional dad for people, a remote dad, I could see that being a side hustle for me. Logged in, nada, multiplayer, and nada. Just continue? Okay. I guess we'll have to figure it out off stream, I suppose.
There's, I believe, only 2 times in this, or 1 time in this entire game, where you can't actively pause and just start talking, and that's just the beginning cutscene.
Okay.
Everything else is turn-based-ish. So there's nothing that's going to stop you from, like, talking to your audience, which is great.
Gotcha. Well, we're in the intro cutscene. It looks very Alien or Matrix. Or that one Venom level in Marvel Rivals.
You are very correct on one of those parts.
Oh, he's so floaty. I guess he doesn't have to touch all the gross sinews below him now. Is that an orc?
I wonder if you'll know what's going on once you see more.
I can tell you probably can't guess too much based on knowledge of the world or of anything Baldur's Gate related.
Oh, it's D&D is why.
I don't know a whole lot about the D&D stock world. I use D&D as a template, not as a prescription. What the heck is that thing?
No.
It looks like it could enter somebody's body and do bad things. I think she thinks that too. Oh boy, and it's doing that thing. Okay. Well, sucks to be her. He's
Sucks
very
to be her.
tentacle-mouthed. Why do I feel like he does psychic stuff? Why do I feel like everything with tentacles coming out the bottom of their face is some sort of like mentalist or psychic of some sort? Like anything Cthulhu spawn looking is going to be a mental creature.
I can tell you why if you want.
Jam says my girlfriend. Wait, which one? Enable tutorials? I'll say yes. That way, Stuart doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting or explaining the game to me. Maybe the game can explain some things and you can fill in where we don't.
Like you're on your own for controls at least.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I probably will just dislike the controls, period. And we'll figure it out from there.
But I can actually tell you why things with tentacles tend to go psychic in media.
Sure, go for it.
I believe it's because what you just saw. I think they're a very old Dungeons and Dragons creature that was based around psychic abilities and brains.
Okay, but why the tentacles?
Ran with that trope.
But I mean, the concept of Cthulhu predates D&D by decades, so
True.
I would imagine that it's more probably based on Lovecraftian lore than anything in D&D, right?
Yeah, I think because I don't know if psychicness was like, yes, entering people's minds and like being part of a dreamscape was more Cthulhu's thing, but like straight up just telekinesis and stuff like that.
Well, I think Cthulhu is more related to just like madness, like making people lose their sanity ultimately.
Yeah. These guys could do something like that.
Okay. Kit says, speaking of autism, the older daughter in for an evaluation. Okay, cool. It's good to have that journey as early as you can. She masks very well and high functioning, so it has gone undiagnosed for 17 years. That, as I understand it, that's how female autism tends to run, right? There's a much better understanding of how to emotionally connect with other people in a way that wouldn't show any of the classical symptoms. So it has to be a different sort of journey. It's not overt, right? Jam says the one who got the eye worm, that's your girlfriend. That's all from Sword and Sorcery. Oh, I don't know what that is. D&D took inspiration from Conan the Barbarian. Oh, how old does Conan go back? Like, what's the original IP on that?
It's pretty old, from what I know.
If you have tentacles for lips, you probably communicate some other way. That's probably true too. Conan's in the universe of Lovecraft? Oh, I'm learning. I don't really know Conan that well. That's interesting. The author routinely conversed with H.P. Lovecraft? Oh. Did they have like a Tolkien and Lewis sort of relationship with each other? Wait, what's going on? I see can't time down do anything my laptop requires to see it well. Oh, it looks like our can you come back into chat? I can drag you to the channel. It looks like we've lost our friendo. They were accidentally moved into AFK, like in the middle of talking. And then
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens if you're actively chatting. Why Discord would say, "Oh, to AFK with you," seems to make no sense. But whatever channel they can join, if I can get them back in, well, keep an eye out. It was kind of like that. They wrote each other via correspondence. That's cool. I appreciate that. Origin characters. I don't suppose I want to play. These are like pre-mades, right?
All of them but one are a character that, like, they're side companions. The Dark Urge is just, he has his own bonus content. You can customize him, but he has his own like little bonus story if you choose to go that path.
I'm not playing pre-mades. It's gross. That's not for me. It's for somebody. It's not for me.
I think you can still customize him technically. It just adds, I wouldn't say another layer of difficulty, but extra content that you don't need.
I'm good. Conan was invented in like the 1910s or 20s. Wow. A Pulp Fiction serialized fiction era. That's cool. Dark Urge is great. Why is the Dark Urge great? Okay, what do I want to be? Race. Tieflings, elves, drow, usually. Humans, boring. Who would ever play Baldur's Gate as a human?
I knew you were going to say that, so I didn't pick human.
Okay. What are Githyanki? Ruthless is... Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you want to read it, or would you like me to do like quick little primers?
Oh, let me read it, and then you can add anything that the text doesn't say. With ruthlessness born from mind flayer enslavement. Oh, this is just like the cutscene. Githyanki ride the astral sea atop red dragons. That sounds badass. Bringing their silver swords and psionic might to bear against any trace of the Illithid menace. Neat. So at first what I thought looked kind of orcish, now they look kind of aquatic. Or at least this one does. Dwarves. Half elf. Super boring. Not as boring as human, but you know, like 50% boring. It's part of the story or another layer of the onion. Oh, okay. The story for the Dark Urge feels like the intended story? Oh, interesting.
Kind of.
The person I referred to as my girlfriend is a Githyanki. Yeah. Did change mine to an elven woman, though? Oh, gotcha. I do like halflings. I really do. Gnomes. I like gnomes, too. I like tinies. Although the gnomes, I don't know. this is the character model weirding me out or what, but I feel like the arms and head are way larger than I would expect on a gnome. I expect gnomes to be wiry, but proportional. And this one feels very anti-proportional, very top-heavy.
I feel that it's helping with animations.
Oh, maybe. Dragonborn, meh. Half-orc, meh. Boring. I feel like I want to either be tiny or drow. Because everything I like is drow. I'm just a big drow fan. Period.
Oz went drow, I believe.
Then maybe I should be a gnome. Alright, we'll go gnome. Do I want to be male or female? Usually female. Kid says drow. Should I go drow even though Oz went drow? Not that I know
Drow, everything has fun parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be your truest self. So I would say drow, simply for the fact how much I know you prefer to go that route.
It is really my heart. I like tinies. The reason why I like tinies is because I like doing big, monumentous things in the world while being tiny. Like in EverQuest 1, I tried to make my first character into a drow. Basically, they didn't have drow, but the equivalent. And when I couldn't pick the race class combination I wanted, I picked something else. But I eventually settled down for for a long while on a halfling warrior because it was just so cool being short and being so tanky and powerful in that regard, like unkillable while also being small stature. I just really enjoyed that combination. Whereas drow doesn't really have anything that stands out about them. But I think I'm just generally preferred the darkness of the drow. Githyanki don't speak to me in any way. There's nothing about them that pulls. Sorry.
After this game, you may feel differently.
Okay. I'm short every day in a house full of tall people. So I'm guessing you probably don't necessarily roleplay short people then. So drow driven to the Underdark, most drow have adopted a ruthless pragmatism. I do like that. I feel the same way a little bit. While the Lothsworn delight in the goddess's evil tenets, the Seldarin reject her attempt to overthrow the leader of the Elven pantheon. Okay. So I'm guessing if you're one of these drow, you're probably the Seldarine so that you can follow suit with other people in a party and it makes sense that you're together. You get cantrips.
If you're going good.
What's that?
That's if you're going as a good character.
Right. Evocation cantrip, so that's just illumination. Don't we already have like night vision though? Or is that for other people? Huh?
So you may have the dark vision, but say I'm playing a human. I don't have dark vision. I can't see in the dark.
Sure, you can help out other people.
Here you go, stupid human. You can now see in the dark because I have lights.
Gotcha. Ooh, magic can't put you to sleep. And you have saving throws against being charmed. Nice. I used to say that littler people shined so much brighter because of all the energy wasted on our size was used in passion. I like that. That's nice. I do feel like short people have a lot to bring to the table. Spider Goddess or her daughter, the goody goody. Oh, is that who the Seldarine follow? Lolth's daughter?
I don't know. I always feel like dwarves always come up a little short.
Yeah. Okay, subrace. So here I get to choose Lothsworn or Seldarine. Probably choose Seldarine. Oh, why do I look so different? Oh, maybe I want to be Lothsworn. Raised by
those are just presets.
There's a what?
Those are just the presets.
Oh,
you can change like the way you actually look.
Okay. Raised by Loth's cult in the city of Menzabranzan, these drow embodied the virtues of their corrupt and merciless goddess. Lilith marks her followers with bright red eyes, so those in the Underdark will learn to fear them on sight. Interesting. Whereas the Seldarine, we found seeking allies from all over Faerun, aiming to settle their conflict with Lilith and each other by any means necessary. So they're the... I feel like this is more who I am as a core of a person. I am the mediator that likes to try to bridge gaps with everybody. You noticed like earlier when there was a big surge in people coming into stream that were like challenging me that I was like far left, or that I had like no concept of economy, or like we should drive out all the illegal people from our country. Like I wasn't immediately pushing them out or discounting their comments. I was trying to engage with them. All of them like left after leaving a comment, but like I wanted each one of those side comments that were probably meant to be antagonistic. I wanted them to start up a conversation. So that's the sort of person I am. It's like if we're very different from each other, if you have an opinion that's drastically different, I want to flesh it out to expose, all the nuance to that. Spider Goddess. Oh, wait, read that. He's so punny. Oh, Troa. Then I met the Teddy. It's all there for all of us. We're just sized. True. If you play evil, then love. Jower matriarchal. The guys get massively shit on. I usually play females in fantasy stories anyway. What were you gonna say?
Me, I was gonna say I was agreeing that they are matriarchal and guys get shit on.
Oh yeah. I mean, so I don't know a lot about. So this isn't just D&D, right? This is Forgotten Realms. Am I right? So
This is so it is Forgotten Realms. It is the world they have mostly built, but it is 100% in the D&D worlds. Like there are books of D&D that have similar maps they use in here.
Yeah. I guess I just mean like if you look at this from a hierarchical standpoint, like there's like fantasy role-playing concept as a whole, and then of that there's D&D, which is a subsection, the vast majority of fantasy pen and paper and that sort of lineage and everything. And then Forgotten Realms is a subsect of D&D that has made a world, a construct, and a sort of like a limitation of who the gods are, where the worlds are, the continents and everything, and divides its own lore that D&D tends to not want to do because they want you to do some of the lore making yourself. Whereas Forgotten Realms is like, it is a planet and there are stories in there and all those stories are canon, and all the writers who have ever written under the Forgotten Realms title have to make their stories work with every other Forgotten Realms story, right? So it's a more limited scope, and that this game, that Baldur's Gate, is in the Forgotten Realms constraints of the D&D world.
Like even the character, you're aware of the Dritz.
Yeah,
is canon to this world.
Yeah,
he's in the first 2 games.
I've read 6 or 7 Drist stories. Yeah,
but like you can kill him in the first 2 games and like steal his weapons.
Oh, that's weird. Okay,
it's funny the things you could do with him.
So Melee is out. I played Melee in a lot of fantasy games, and especially I play a lot of sneak based, so I tend to gravitate towards Ranger and Rogue, and I want to do something that's challenging me a little bit differently from that. I feel like in a lot of modern meta, nobody seems to do enough tanking and healing. So in Marvel Rivals, in Final Fantasy, in League of Legends, and Overwatch, I am always doing the underdog roles that other people don't want to do. So I feel like I've always been cornered into tanking and healing so much. So I'd kind of like to do something that's more supportive or DPS-y that's not related to those roles, because I've done so much of that in modern times. So I'd probably lean towards maybe one of the DPS casters or to Bard.
So the 3 I would, if you're going DPS, you could go, like you said, the Sorcerer, the Wizard, and the Warlock are the 3 like damage dealers.
Yeah.
all have their own specialties. Another good like support class would be cleric, but I don't know if you would want to go healer cleric or
No,
like death cleric.
I do too much healer. Or what
Yeah.
cleric?
Well, the thing is, just because they're a cleric doesn't mean they need to heal you.
Uh-huh.
But once again, that's what Oz is doing.
Oh, okay.
She is what's called a death domain cleric, though. She does have some healing, but it also gives her spells that lets corpses explode.
Gotcha. What was the word you were saying? It got cut out a couple times.
Which word?
The
What does it sound like?
adjective before cleric.
Death domain.
Death domain. Gotcha. Interesting.
So there's like 6 different versions of cleric you could play in this game, all with a different domain.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like sorcerer and wizards. Like there's each like wizards, I believe, are separated into the different types of spells. So like illusion, summoning, necromancy.
Yeah.
Sorcerers are separated into where their magic comes from. Warlocks have different patrons that give them powers, so they all have slightly different like builds. So there's subsections within these classes.
Yeah.
So if you feel like you want to go more DPS with a bard, you could do that. If you want to go more support with a warlock, you could do that.
Okay.
Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Okay. Well, I like being supportive. I don't like being healy. My favorite thing to do in fantasy games is non-heal support. So basically like CC, buffs, debuffs, that sort of thing. That makes sense. Relocation of enemies or allies.
So wizard, sorcerer, or bard. Warlock tend to go more DPS out of all of the 4.
Okay.
You can build more spells with wizards. You just find spell scrolls and get them that way. Sorcerers have them like a set amount, but they can do weird stuff with their spells, like cast 2 at once instead of just a single one per turn. Bards always have like different versions of their bardic inspiration that help allies in general.
Okay. I might go wizard.
Plus, we will have other party members that can fill voids.
Right. Kit says, I play as a druid. Wizards are glass cannons, but they can learn any spell. That's nice. Especially if I'm playing with a cleric. I don't mind being too glass cannon-y. Tro says, I've really enjoyed monk. I've played a monk once before. It's nice. I just don't know if it speaks to me.
Druids aren't always like they get the like, oh, you're the shapeshifter. It's like, no, they're just nature magic. So they can be very good supports as well.
Let's go into edit appearance because I didn't realize that was its own separate thing while we're going down this pipeline.
Yeah.
Body type. Can we see what we're talking about here? Oh, well, that changed gender. Although I guess you can then choose identity. Do I like being really tall? I do like being really tall if I'm going to be a drow. Female.
You can also, if you want to be masculine in appearance, but a female, you could do that not just in your title, but what you got downstairs.
I see. Voice?
Where to next?
Let's hope the locals are.
Hells, be wary.
It's opened.
I like that one.
More of those wretched things.
Okay. Face. It's not bad. Interesting. It's different. Let's go with this one. Skin color. Oh, there's so many. Definitely gonna go with more purple. Purple's my favorite color. Scarrings. There's a lot of different scars. Don't necessarily feel like scars. Oh, that's kind of cool. Really speak to me.
Mods yet?
What's that?
You haven't even seen all the mod.
Oh,
That's
sure.
one of the big things they add is just like more customization for characters.
Freckle. like freckles. Vitiligo. Oh, wow. I know Oz chose vitiligo, didn't she?
Yep.
100%. Genitals. We won't mess with that on stream.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't take your clothes off on console. So I don't know if you want to turn nudity off for your stream.
Nudity is not disallowed on stream. It just can't be a primary source of entertainment. Like, we can't just be sitting here waggling my character back and forth, staring at the bits. You know what I mean?
Because there is explicit scenes in this if you go that route.
Yeah. We have 18 plus stream handles everywhere, so it's not an issue. I like casting Field of Thorns in between the enemies and my people. By the time they wade through to strike, they're mostly dead. Nice. I agree. Purple is the best color.
Another thing about this game that I think will be appreciated by you is it's going to be very hard to spoil anything. Because even if we're told something, our playthrough could go a different route, or someone could die on accident. It's like, oh, what? How? I didn't know that could happen. Because every time I play this, even though I know it fairly well, I still go, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Still, we'll try to help people know to avoid spoilers, but
we'll give her the same spiky eyebrow that I have. Although hers looks like it's a little constrained funny. That's fine. Ooh, I almost hit randomize appearance. Let's not. Heterochromia. I feel like everybody chooses heterochromia. If they see it, they choose it. I kind of want to be a traditional red eye. I'll go dark red. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm kind of making Dai from Final Fantasy. Let's see how we can make her different. No, I don't want to make exactly Dai.
But she's your character.
Dai is my character on Final Fantasy. She's not the same. Doesn't have to be the same character.
Doesn't have to be, but don't constrain yourself because she is.
I suppose that's fair. Music's nice. I hope I don't
does have very good this game.
I hope I don't get DMCA'd.
I mean, I don't think Oz did when we played.
Okay. Well, I don't think she was streaming on YouTube at the time just yet.
That's true.
I do like buns. The space buns look. Hair is a hard choice to make.
Hair is the hardest choice to make.
Yeah. Let's go with these buns. This used to be Dai's hairstyle before she got married in game, and so now it doesn't have to be because Dai's hair is different now. Let's go. Can we go? Oh, that's interesting. It's got some yellow in that. I was so sad that the intro changed. My music is so much less of that moment. Oh, was it related? Was it a Baldur's Gate music?
I think it has a what's the word? Where it changes based on where you are in the game.
Oh, highlights. Here we go. Can we do purple? Does that look dumb? Actually, that looks really nice. Wait, why are you spinning? Don't spin. Yeah, I kind of like the white with a little bit of purple in that. Graying? What does graying look like? I don't feel like it does anything.
It's the third color for the hair if you so choose as well. You just have to change the intensity.
Oh, graying intensity. That's why. Oh, this could actually be pretty cool. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with this. Let's make it kind of more turquoisey. It kind of blends well with the purple. Yeah, that's neat. Okay. That's probably good. Wait, makeup. Is that really just eye makeup? Oh, there's a lip tint. Completely skip this. Can we do something darker purple? That's not bad. Maybe not that vibrant though. I like this purple better. No, on YouTube. Oh, the DM save from Ethel. Yeah. Okay. Turn off edit character. Let's come back into class. Cantrips. I can select 3. Oh boy. If you said something, you're far from your mic or some such.
What class did you select?
Wizard.
These can be changed pretty much on the fly, as long as you're not in battle.
Okay. At least I had a second option. I do appreciate that your second option is also pretty fantastic. So you have to have dancing lights. Mage hand
Because that's
manipulate.
your racial ability.
What was that?
That's your racial ability. It's already there.
Gotcha. Shocking grasp. Advantage on next roll. Toll the dead. Oh, interesting. Create an illusion. Noxious gas. Illusion might be nice to have. Prevent the target from healing. That's pretty cool. Explode a corpse. Thunder damage. Charisma check. That'd be nice, but not necessarily. If I can switch later on, not a big deal. Half the damage from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Or acid. We'll stick with these for now. Spells. Oof. I'll just probably hang on to what they give you. I'll do deeper dive if these are all changeable.
I would get. Which ones do they give you?
So they give you Mage Armor, Fog Cloud, Grease, Thunder Wave, Sleep, and Magic Missile.
You want to be more utility, so yeah, you can keep those. Usually I get rid of Grease, but it can be used to like make people slip or help set fires.
I used to be in Neverwinter Nights, a monk with multi-class in Sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Grease, and it made monking really easy.
Yes.
So I have fond memories of Grease.
Just so you're aware, my plan is I'm going basic fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be kind of into the guy who controls the battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a high damage dealer, usually.
Charlatan, Entertainer, Urchin. Doesn't seem like me. Sage. A folk hero. I like Charlatan. That could be a lot of fun. I'll be a
Just so you know, what that is doing is giving you 2 proficiencies towards 2 random things. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Deception, sleight of hand, yeah. That could be a lot of fun. Abilities. Oof. They've already given you all of your ability points assigned, and then you could unassign and change them around.
Yes.
I'm okay with what they give me. I'm not going to mess with this. Prepared spells.
I'm not sure if you're aware of how the numbering system works, but as a heads up, the one when it's on 17 and 15 will... So every 2 above 10 give you a +1.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to have more health or more dexterity, you could start off. That's the only thing I would personally say you could change, because the 15 and the 13 aren't helping as much as a 14 would.
Oh,
either
yeah,
way.
That's true. Good point.
17 is fine because that's your main one. You want to keep that as high as possible early on.
Yeah. Do you eventually get more ability points as you level?
Yeah.
Let's put one in con. Eh?
You may want to put it back in charisma. Take it from Dex is what I would recommend.
So I can't actually apply them any higher than where they are.
I think you could to Dexterity, but I don't think you could do it to Constitution yet.
Yeah, I could. All right, I'm okay with there then.
It doesn't matter too much. You can upgrade them later if you like.
Yeah, I'll probably just do it that way. All right, prepared spells. Of the ones I have, do I want Fog and Thunderwave left off and the other ones on? Yeah, I think so, especially just given how much more utilitarian I'd like to be. Cool. Enter a character name. Ugh, gross. It's always hard for me to choose. How do we make this? Let's see. Can we do Elvish Dictionary Online? Tolkien specifically? Pick a drow sort of name, perhaps. Phrases? Do we just have... Oh man, that's a lot of different Elvish languages. Which is Quenya, I suppose.
I'm surprised they don't have a randomizer in game.
They don't?
As far as I can see, no.
Hmm.
I'll BRB.
Okay.
I know I have enough time. Don't worry.
Looking for Dusk. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Lome Usk. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's kind of interesting though. Genitive refers to night. A masculine name, Lomion. Oh, Lomelindi, Nightingale. That's kind of a cool name. Can we go with this one? That's interesting that night is, well, I mean, it's constructed language, so I get it. All right, let's try that. Oh no, there's no copy paste. How dare they? Okay, move this off to the side and read it. Can you do an O with a grave mark over it? With an accent? Which one is this one in alt code? Not the grave.
You could also try and copy paste it.
242. What was that?
You could also try and copy paste it.
I tried. Didn't work.
Oh.
243. There it is. There it is. Okay. So apparently you can do that. Lome Lindy. This means nightingale in Quenyan. Need a guardian. Oh dear.
That's why I knew I had plenty of time to go.
It's already time for me to go to bed. I can't stop and
Honestly, this character you don't have to worry too much about their luck. That's all I will say.
Okay. Do I want a drow guardian or something other?
I usually hit randomize a bunch because it makes it feel like it's not my character, it was someone else's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, that's quite the guardian. Interesting dwarf. Make it scary? We can make it scary. Let's make it tiefling then. I feel like that's a good scary.
Is horrifying.
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. Body type. Let's make this masculine. If I've got a female character. Make a masculine guardian. Asmodeus. Mephistopheles. Or Zariel. I feel like it makes sense to be arcane magic. And then general voice.
Remarkable.
Good luck.
Follow your instincts.
Oh, that's a good one.
Don't be afraid.
Let's do face. What's going to be creepy? Bigger ears on this one. I like that. Skin tone. Let's go very pale. I feel like pale can be its own form of creepy when something is very, very light.
Like a vampire.
Yeah. I don't feel like mini vampires are creepy though.
Or a white.
That might be more creepy. We'll give him these scarrings. It's pretty nice sigils. It's gonna be really old. I don't care so much about freckles for him. Give him blotchy skin. I don't feel like that's that scary. In fact, I like blotchy skin, so. Eric Hall, please help. What do you need help with, my dude? Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of freaky. Maybe the freakiest of the facial markings. Or this, that one looks too tribal. We're going back to that first one. Yeah, that's a good one. Tattoo color. Can we make this pale as well? I feel like there's something extra creepy about the light on light color scheme. Oh, intensity.
Hey, I'm your guardian. Oh my god, you're horrifying.
Right. Just subtly, not too strong. That looks pretty nice that way. Piercing, don't care. He's a guardian, doesn't need piercings. Heterochromia, not really interested. But let's give him light eyes. Wait. He had really dark eyes before. Oh, some of these, gotcha. There's ones called demonic. And they have a different, they're black eyes with light otherwise. Oh, the green's pretty piercing. Blue's pretty good too. Kind of like that. Purple and green. Okay. Makeup. To get makeup. Oh, yeah, the black eyes is actually a pretty smart look. Metallic. That just makes it even darker. I like that.
It'll make them a little shiny too.
Yeah.
So they'll reflect.
The shiny reduced the amount of coverage though. And lip tint can make it look bloody. Oh yeah, it's sort of a dark red and metallic. This is good. Yeah, I'll do shiny on the lips. Looks like
I swear, Mom, it's not a phase. This is just how I wear my makeup.
Shut up. Hair? I feel like he would serve better with no hair.
I was gonna say bald.
Yeah.
Or something ridiculous.
Oops.
Like a man with long hair.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. Long hair is pretty nice, actually. Unfortunately, makes him look less creepy and more stately. We'll do no hair. Facial hair, though.
Might cover up the scars.
Again, it's making him look too good. Like he looks more sagely with hair. What about just a molester stash? Oh, curly mustache. No, now he looks silly. I can't do it.
I am your guardian. Will you like me to help you? Would you like a mustache?
The horns, though. Can we do multiple horns? Or... Oh, I do like the curly horns. Very, like, Tim Curry. I want them higher or lower? I think lower. Can we make them dark? Let's make them dark. How dark can you make these horns? That's pretty dark. Reminds me a bit of Little Nicky. I don't remember that. Saw that in theaters and I don't really remember it. That's even darker. That's
It's
better.
one of the better Adam Sandler movies.
And then horn tip. Can we make that red, like they're blood engorged or stained and stabbing people with? It'd be weird to stab somebody with your horn on your head.
I mean, kind of badass.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, that looks pretty good. It's pretty menacing. Okay. Do I change anything else about him? Or
Give him a vagina. I
No.
don't think you can.
I don't think you can either. Proceed.
I believe after we go through the second half of the intro cutscene and start the game, you can save and quit.
Okay. That's what I'm gonna have to do. One of the dudes in hell. Oh, gotcha. But he didn't have horns on his head? Oh. Is that one asleep? Dead? Probably dead. Cool. I like your spaceship. Oh, look. Hapless people to suck the brain guts out of.
Very pretty.
What's that up there? Yeah. What you gonna do?
This is the titular Baldur's Gate.
Oh, this place is Baldur's Gate.
I believe so, yes.
So much for that tower. Oh. Hi, everybody. Oh, getting teleported in. Uh-oh. Now it's coming. Dragon Riders. Oh, so these are the people who are like sworn antagonists to these guys.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh,
They come from the same dimension, I believe.
our poor tentacled hero is going to suffer a horrible fate, it would seem. Go, Mind Flayer. Deploy your anti-dragon abilities. Oh no. They're getting inside. We're losing. Like, seriously, why would you root for one side versus the other? Oh, neat. That was a fun ability.
I was gonna say it's a really cool like visual for teleportation.
Yeah.
Like the portal ring is neat, but just like the bam twig, like Nightcrawler.
Mm-hmm. There's a shellfish in the sky. I don't feel like they're being so shellfish. Thoughts on the Talmud? Not well studied. How about you, Ben? The whole opener is great. Yeah, this is a really cool visual storytelling bit. Don't need dialogue. You're learning a lot about worlds and powers and forces going against each other.
Some wonderful like dragons too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're in hell.
That was a lot of little imps.
great way to start off the game where we don't have to worry about like what we're killing because it's hell.
Yeah.
Everything here is bad.
I guess that's a smart way that no matter what you did in character creation, the content is against you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. You're just one of a million Matrix pods waking up. Made a wrong turn. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh hi.
Wherever we are, it's falling apart.
Well, that moves the camera around. And then left click and drag moves me. Okay.
I don't know if you want to ask Oz how she feels. We both seem to like controller for movement outside of combat, but once in combat, the mouse and keyboard was her preferred method of transportation.
I am getting well into the time that I needed to have like already been brushing teeth and falling asleep. So I'd love to explore further and decide what I like as far as controls. But yeah, duty calls. We are down to the last 2 days of school for the school year, so I want to finish strong. Whoa, what was that?
I healed us.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know I needed healing.
We didn't. It was just fun to do.
Trevor says, just wanted snacks. I was just looking for some, I don't know, leg of lamb. What sort of things do adventurers in this world eat?
Yes.
Lamb. Everything.
I mean, that's part of what we do in this game is we have to look for camp supplies. It's not hard or anything, but for like resting overnight to regain our abilities and health, you actively have to like get food and have it at camp. Otherwise, you don't get a full night's rest.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. You know, some games, just there's no immersion when it comes to how you take care of your character. Not that I need to do like hydration and macros and bathroom breaks and all that kind of stuff, but yeah.
They even have it so you can clean your character's blood off if you would like.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, you just have to like get soap. It's like if you don't want to be bloody in a cutscene, that's how you do it.
Yeah. I don't know how to rotate my camera, but I'll figure that out later. Lycos, hi. I want it. Give me your money.
Lycos Menon just subscribed. I want it. Give me your money, Kappa.
Wait, you just gave me yours. I've never once had to hunt for camp supplies, so it's generous. Okay, that's good to know. Sad to say, I do have to call it a night. It was neat making the character and going through that whole shebang. But I'm long overdue for sleep now. Give it back? No.
I'm also going to do my best to play this where you're the leader, I just kind of follow, but my character will not hint at anything, but it's like, oh, my character would want this.
Sure. So you'd actually role play your character?
If you would like, I can role play as Garth, yeah. He is my D&D character I usually play.
Oh, cool. Yeah, appreciate that.
Like, I need a big voice. Like, hey there.
Cool.
Kind of awkward.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So I don't know how you. I think you go to. Did you already save or?
Oh no, I don't know how to save.
Escape, I would believe on PC, but you
save
you're-
game.
you do.
New save. Well,
There's also
did
a
an
quick
auto
save
save.
feature.
Or just leave the auto save.
Yeah,
Not a loading
that should be
now.
fine.
Cool.
If there is a important thing that I believe would distract from your playthrough, I will tell you. Please autosave before this, and we just in case something drastically bad happens that would, like I said, negatively impact your enjoyment of the game.
Yeah.
It won't happen very often, if at all, but I will let you know when the time comes.
Yeah. Sounds good. Did the game crash? No, I'm crashing. My Wednesday streams I generally need to end at 2, since I do 1 need to get the littles ready for school first thing in the morning, and then 2 immediately upon getting them ready and to school I need to clock in at my day job. So there's very little I can do as far as leeway. On the weekends I generally stay up an extra hour and do 5-hour streams, but yeah, on Wednesday I can usually run till about 2 a.m. That would be what, 11 p.m. Pacific. And,
Yeah, it's 11 now.
And then if I don't bounce out now and get what sleep I can, I'm very little utility tomorrow. Looking forward to more Baldur's Gate 3. I'll have to see if I can make it happen. I just made a character on a lark. I don't have this ready for stream schedule, but I have the game, courtesy of Stuart. Thank you. And it'd be nice to find time and wherewithal to make this happen. If this does happen in my off-stream nights, I may consider just going live with very little like announcement, stream schedule, that sort of thing. Just hit live to be live on if we happen to play it on an off-stream night, just so that you guys can pop in and sort of watch and hang, that sort of thing. But it'll be like a much more casual experience if that happens. Probably same for like any other game. If I happen to pop into other games on off-stream days, there's always a consideration that I could always just hit go live, and I probably wouldn't do the whole song and dance of intros and outros and all of that. But yeah.
I will say this game for your Wednesday streams might do better for you than Final Fantasy, because I've noticed you tend to get a little bit quieter during boss fights.
Yeah, but I try not to do too much boss fight specific. In fact, recently, because I hit 100 with all, what's the word I'm looking for? All battle classes. More of my content going forward in 14 is catching up to my crafting and gathering that I have not maxed out yet.
Okay, that was the only reason I suggested it. It says like, oh, he's gonna be playing an RPG.
Thanks for the
this
bit.
might do better.
What was that?
I was just saying the way I was thinking. I'm like, oh, it might be better if he doesn't have to like pause, like, okay, I need to focus face during this boss fight kind of thing.
Fair, since it's turn-based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can, depending on what you want to do, put more or less of the burden of combat on me. Depending on how many characters you want to be in control of versus if I'm in control of some of them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because right now you will be in the way I am hoping to do it, so you can get all the character like interactions.
Inspire just subscribed.
Ooh,
Likos, thank you so much for that gift sub. Appreciate your face. Missed the golden Kappa train. Oh, these things happen.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
You will be in control of 2 NPCs and your character. Which will also give you their character interactions, and there's a lot of stuff that comes along with it, because they will chime in and they will tell you they like something or don't like something that you do. But if they are being controlled by me, you don't get those same interactions the same way you would. So probably better keep them in your party.
Okay. Random channel. Hi. You can ask me something. You can ask me anything you'd like. Whether I give you an answer that you care for, that's a whole other answer entirely. If I was like 5 seconds faster, I could have gotten the golden Kappa in your chat. Oh, bummer. We'll just have to try next time. There will be many more future days where the golden Kappa may grace us with its presence. Might not be next time. Why? How rare is the golden Kappa? Oh, it's mega rare. That's 3 megas. I hope you meant what you said. That's a lot of megas. All right, everybody. If I don't hear from random channel in the next minute for your question, I'm gonna bounce because it is late. I gotta go. You've only seen it twice in a decade of it being a thing on Twitch. Damn. Interesting. I've never heard of it. I was just rolling with the punches. I had no idea. what a golden kappa is. It's a shame we missed it. Could have had something special tonight. It might have made me stay up a whole extra hour and stream with you guys just because of the golden kappa's power. I'm just kidding. I still need sleep. Yeah, needs to be a thing. Stuart, thank you for popping in and all of your interactions and insights tonight. Appreciate your face.
No problem. As always, hope I added and didn't subtract.
Thanks. Have yourself a good night.
Later.
Bye.
And everyone, don't forget YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, Kick,
Instagram.
I was like, who's the ones that we don't care about because they only get 4 hours?
Well, I mean, we're doing a 4-hour stream. It's not bad.
I know that's the joke.
All right. Have a good night.
Night.
It's okay, Likos. I don't judge you for this lack of golden kappa. You're still as special as you've always been to me. All right. We are going to say goodnight to everybody. I know it's not a full 4-hour stream because I started as late as I did because I was out doing ice cream hunting this evening. Mostly because, for those of you that don't know, our littles are, we don't feed them processed sugars, which makes it particularly challenging, especially if you live in the deep south, to try to find alternatives when things happen. And because the Tinies class is doing an ice cream social thing, we're providing the ice cream. We can provide regular ice cream for everybody, but for our own child, we have to find sugar-free variant that's going to work. And some stores just don't do that, and some stores do, but it's limited, or it's in the back of house somewhere, and you have to ask somebody. Like, there's so many reasons why it's a challenge, but one that we want to stick with because of what we gain from that, which is, better health outcomes, better taste making for them, so that when they make choices about what they want to eat or not eat in their future, we've set them up for better success, that kind of thing. Yeah. All right. Also, Twitch, I normally do find somebody to raid out to. I really want to prioritize getting good sleep tonight and ending out the end of year in these next couple days, the end of year for our elementary school strong. So I'm just going to bounce. We're not going to worry about finding somebody to raid out to this evening. Chris, hi. We're just ending stream. So drop a follow, drop a sub. And if you catch me on the weekend, usually on Saturdays, we're playing like old school puzzle games. Right now, we're doing the Myst series of games. And on Sundays, we've been playing games inspired by the Mother series from Nintendo. Right now, we're wrapping up Undertale. So you can catch me then. Most of my streams usually run from 4 to 5 hours, usually starting at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. And I stream every Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday, so you can catch me there. You can also find all my VODs and other stuff pretty much anywhere that you like, whatever social platform that you particularly enjoy the best. Chances are I at least have a profile there and like some content that you can enjoy. So cyberstalk me everywhere and help me grow. Yeah. Is this a party at a gay bar? I mean, if you want it to be. All right. I love your faces. I will catch you on the flip side. If you're safe, fed, and loved, make sure someone out there is too, please. I will catch you all in just a couple days. In the meantime, find my Discord, find my .com, cyberstalk me, chat up on the off-stream side of things, and keep me busy until the next time I catch you all live. And yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side. See ya.